in Star Radio UK. And yeah, in the UK's Rwanda asylum policy ruled unlawful by judges. The government suffers a setback as judges said Rwanda is not a safe third country. So what next? And Tory MPs try to interfere with Johnson's probe report. Nadine Dorrit and Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg are among MPs criticized for attacking investigation into ex-Prime Minister. Oh my wow. So what is going to happen? A lot more going to be coming your way from there. But for now, just stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi, I'm Ada Williams and I'm an NHS pharmacist. Don't get caught out by COVID this summer. If you have only had one COVID-19 vaccination or haven't had one at all, you can still get your free vaccine until the 30th of June. Book your vaccine through the NHS app, online at nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119 for free.
Hallelujah! 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 Come on! Let me see you move from one side to another side. Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on!
This is Star Radio. Hey.
The Lord our God is King of Israel. The Lord our God is mighty, is full of grace and mercy. Has given us a son Emmanuel, atonement for us, a gift to set us all free. Let there be praise. Everybody, let there be with all of my heart. Somebody make some noise. Waiting, I go give to you.
This is Star Radio UK.
If I give you money,
Well, that is something from Sinau, okay? Sinayo and the Immaculate Group, the TLCC 10th year anniversary. Some lovely tune there.
I go give to you.
And to all our lovely listeners yesterday as well, I hope that those of you who were celebrating the Eid, you had a very good time. My Bishop Adesina, massive good morning to you once again. I hope you are doing very, very well. And to everyone in the areas of this, we salute you.
This is Star Radio. Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Somebody let me see you. Oh, no. Unto the Lord be the glory. Great things He has done. Unto the Lord be the glory.
This is Star Radio. Star Radio UK.
Come on. Sing unto the Lord be the glory for the greatest thing.
be the glory for all the great things that he has done, that he has protected us, and Nigeria didn't happen to us, and we are still alive. Those who are celebrating the Eid and everything, things went out peacefully, and we are all well and alive. And this morning, we are back here once again. 8 minutes past 11 the time. And therefore, you know that at this juncture, I have to bring you the one and only Mr. Olayomi Koiki, the White Lion himself. And let me say, Yomi, good morning.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie, and a very good morning to Frank and the rest of the team this morning. And let's just say good morning to all our listeners and those that have connected on the sister broadcast. And welcome once again to the 29th day of June 2023. And it is exactly a month that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also taking the affairs of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Well, a month on, 29th, when he was sworn in, now everybody's looking at it and lots of assessment and lots of evaluation going on. But what do you think so far? We'll be coming to that. But again, let me sincerely apologize to every one of you for the late start of the program. It was due to a technical hitch that we were working on here, but we managed to put it all together to come your way. So I don't know, maybe the pictures, those of you on the Facebook, maybe the pictures are not as sharp as it's supposed to be. Just bear with that. The technical team are working on it. And hopefully subsequent programs will be very good. And let me say good morning to Pastor Mo. Say thank you, Jesus. To you be all the glory. Good morning, gentlemen, and good morning to you, our pastor as well. Okay, Yami, how was the Eid yesterday? And looking at your celebrations here, just opposing it to what was happening in Nigeria, how do you compare the whole thing?
Well, I think, when you live outside the shore of Nigeria, you tend to just, make it as much as you can, especially knowing that UK is not an Islamic country. So that literally means that, the schools still operate as compared to most Arab countries that have been on holiday, whether you're in Morocco, in Turkey, whether you are somewhere in Tunisia, or whether you are in Nigeria, where holiday was also presented, up till Monday, I believe, there will be full functioning of our operation in Nigeria. But in UK, maybe some particular part, if you live in somewhere where there's more of Muslims, places like not just in London, where you travel to Leicester, those places, I think, the council will be able to accommodate that, some student might not be able to attend school. UK hasn't declared any bank holiday, for the Eid, but literally a lot of students are withdrawn from school so that they can be able to practice, what is part of their own curriculum as well. But apart from that, it's not as much as anything different that, it is all about the intention, and they say the intention, carries first in whatever you're planning to do.
Wow. Listeners, Star Radio UK, and once again to all our lovely viewers and listeners who now we have become family. We wish you all, whether it's belated, Eid Mubarak. All right? Good. All right then, Star Radio UK, 11 minutes past 11 the time, and some of the story that is making the rounds in Nigeria is quite an interesting one. But let me take this one first and come to Yomi, then he will be telling you more about what is happening. Now, there is an alleged statement that the former president Buhari, somehow, has got a deal with Tinubu so that Tinubu will not be prosecuted. How true is that? That's what Shehu Sani is saying. He's alleged to probe. Shehu Sani mocks Buhari over reported agreement with Tinubu. How true is that, Yomi?
We're still in almost the same week that Buhari, is in London. I believe he hasn't left as at Tuesday that Bola Ahmed Tinubu returned back, and I'll be giving a little bit details to that. We thought he was in Daura until a picture of him surfaced, leaving the London Central Mosque last week, Friday. When Bola Tinubu left Paris, to London, as he was touching down back in Lagos, because he actually went to Abuja, because as I speak right now, he's on his route to Jebu, the state. I don't know what is happening there, but I might be looking that up later on. A picture surfaced between the president and the former president. He said leaving Paris, he was coming for a private meeting. Could that private meeting literally mean that he's coming to meet Buhari? We believe also that Buhari is taking medical treatment in Wellington Hospital. That is what the sources are saying. We know Wellington Hospital, they also have NHS, but also have the private sector in there. And when you look at the distance, because I did check it out yesterday, it's about 6-minute walk from Wellington Hospital to the London Central Morgue. So that literally is adding up, based on the information. But what could lead to where, the former president could be pleading on behalf of certain individual not to be probed? Remember that the former, central bank that is now being held by the current government, Bola Tinubu, when it comes to Emefiele Godwin, Buhari tried everything possibly best to even send him off, to what they call a study leave. But he had to return back because Buhari gave him the assurance. It is not just Emefiele that we're talking alone. We're talking about some other individuals that are linked with the past government in terms of corruption that the DSS might be interested. Buhari is allergic to probe Shehu Sani plus the ex-president over alleged agreement with Tinubu. That is what Shehu Sani is saying. He's a former senator as well from Kaduna Central, has now mocked former President Muhammadu Buhari over an alleged appeal for Tinubu to please, at least, even if it's going to be anything, make it a soft landing.
Well, he came into power to office saying that he was coming to deal with corruption, and every time I sit here and I look at the case of this one who minor who squandered, who is allegedly has squandered billions of naira of pensioners' money, and yet we've not seen anything. We just saw him kicking the can down the road, and so that somebody else will pick up. So if Tinubu is now becoming a man enough, saying I've got a boss to, crack the whip, why is he scared of? Well, if he's not done anything, fine. If he's on, his people that he appointed did something wrong. I think Nigerians deserve accountability, and these people have to be answered. Be answerable to Nigerians there. But listeners, it's Star Radio UK. We'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the other stories making the rounds. What are other stories, Yomi?
Yeah, sorry, we couldn't. We're having some issues, sending the messages up, but let's just give it to us as we have it here. Let's come back again to hunger. I woke up just about almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I believe, as usual, you just want to have conversation, especially knowing fully well that we're living in a world where the timing is different. That would have been about close to midnight in America, in Canada. So even if I was on, there would still be few people. And yes, there were few people, but something, happened just about an hour to that, and that was, the young one in the house, the youngest one, woke up, and I said, go back to bed. It's not yet early in the morning. And he cried out that he wanted to eat. And that felt touching to me because, when you reflect that back to the next headline, the question is, how many Nigerians are still able to feed their little ones in the house when they are hungry? Hunger afflicting 4.3 million Nigerians in Borno State, Adamawa State, where Atiku is from, and the Yobe State, according to the United Nations again this morning. The United Nations top humanitarian official in Nigeria, Matthias Schema, says severe hunger have now affected 4.3 million people in Nigeria, most especially in these 3 states. And we know reason why, because those states have been rampaged completely by the Boko Haram terrorists, and the continuity continue. Buhari was as a failure as anything, as we thought. He was an ex-military general, but I think I don't even know how he got the military general, because all we know is I've been looking back some history going to KWARA State, and that led me back to the Second Republic, where Buhari was the one that trampled with the Second Republic on December 31st, 1983. When he actually overthrown, the civilian government. So, the question is, how did we get to where Nigerian, the power when it comes to the land, the people, and yet we are still not able to feed as many Nigerians that are now close to about 130 million. I did a breakdown as well. When I look back to Ike Kirimadu was almost going to spend close to 76 million naira, for his daughter. There's nothing wrong in that if he's spending the money. But the question is, was this money from his own business coffer or is it money from the government? When you move that back to pound sterling is about 80,000 pounds at the Royal Free. I divided that back based on what the British government is saying, that if you're going to be studying in UK, you need nothing less than 12,000 pounds a year for accommodation alone if you're going to be studying in London. But if you're going to be doing that in outside London, you need 9,000 pounds a year for you to apply for that visa. And the question is, Ike Kirimadu will have been able to pay 8 average Nigerian from his own state, or maybe use the money to feed. But as we say, you run after your own force before thinking of others. So what do we do? On Wednesday, Mr. Skimi told the journalists in Geneva that the number of children under 5 at risk of life-threatening severe acute malnutrition are double in 1 year to reach 700,000. Describing the situation in the northeast, Mr. Skimi said, I have been to Borno and other 2 states severely. I have seen mothers fighting for the lives of their malnourished children in the nutrition stabilization. And like I said, at about 5, when the little one asked for that food, I was saying to myself, how many Nigerians would not have sent their children back to bed? And as that child going to bed, still feeling hungry without any changes. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Of course. I mean, they would send them to bed, not necessarily because it was too early or something. It's because they don't have the means, they don't have the food there to give them. You had the choice. You just wanted him to go to bed, and then at the right time you will eat because there is food in the house. But Nigerians will not have that. Yesterday, once we were having the program, the UN had made an assessment of that up to about 100 million Nigerians by the close of the year will now become poor. Because at the moment they were talking about 96 million thereabout. And that is scary because they're looking at there's fuel subsidy removal and everything that seems to have gone on there. But who knows? It is all coming your way from Star Radio UK. Let me acknowledge a couple of people, some information there, and then I come back to you. Bishop Adesina is saying that please, let's not praise Tinubu yet. In 1 month in office, 2 international loan acquisition approved. Now, purpose for loan unreasonable and needless. And Pastor Mo says the hunger in Nigeria is huge and has a crying emoji. He said this is what is consuming larger part of our money. God bless. God, please intervene quickly and put a prayer hand claps emoji there as well. Okay, so let's continue to look at some of the stories, and Yomi is putting all the stories that we're going to be looking at on the platform there. So just bear with us whilst we continue to do so. But Yomi, you look at you say we talk about the idle hand, which is the devil's workshop, and if 100 million people, and then on Monday or Tuesday we have the imams saying that people should not go borrowing to celebrate the Eid and stuff like that. Now, it's easier said than done. Can you just imagine if you, when your son woke up and then you were looking at him and you knew desperately you didn't have the money or they didn't have the food in the house to feed that boy, okay? The next morning, you'll be thinking otherwise. You'll be thinking outside the box. So, the fact that government doesn't seem to understand, let me put it that way, doesn't seem to understand because they have not found themselves in such situation means that they are not actually dealing with the situation head on. What do you think?
Well, maybe the rich among Nigeria should now dip their hands in their pocket and do as much of philanthropies to cushion the problem. Richer Nigerians lost more purchasing power than poorer household, according to the World Bank. Nigerian inflation is currently one of the highest rates in the Sub-Saharan report. The World Bank says that due to the high inflation, the richer Nigerians have also lost more purchasing power than the poor household. According to the Washington base, richer household lost more purchasing power, relative to their consumption than a poorer household. The World Bank said Nigerian inflation continued to remain the highest rate in the sub-Saharan. This sharp increase in price has negatively impacted the purchasing power of each household. The report as of December 2022 up to April 2023 is estimated to have pushed 4 million more Nigerians into the poverty. Earlier in June, the National Bureau of Statistics reported that the Nigerian annual inflation rate rose to 22.41%. That's quite a very high amid increase in food prices. The Bureau noted that within the year, the rate had acquired a difference of 4.7% from May 2022, where the inflation was just 17.1 up to May 2023. So you can see that, it has gone up and it's not reducing. And the whole reason is got to do with so many of the changes that is happening, especially as Bola Tinubu stated, in the next headline that can link to that, Salah, the current pain necessarily, says Tinubu government. And I think we can play this short clip that came up from, Bajabiamila, the chief of staff to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during the Salah message yesterday. And maybe when we play it, we can ask some of our listeners and audience whether that is exactly what it's meant to be, because it seems that the weight of Nigeria can be a big burden. Let's listen to it.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him.
Well, it seems that Allah is what they are depending on to help Bola Ahmed Tinubu to carry the weight. I know you wanted me to come back to the studio, but the next headline says, Salah, the current pain is necessary, says Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Government is now preaching for unity.
Well, government can preach for unity. We like that. Samsudin, good morning to you. But you see, it's interesting when Allah has given us conscience, and then we can use that to actually know that this is right, this is wrong. We don't have to do this. We don't have to treat this person this way. We don't have to do those things. But we're not using that. Okay? And we sit down, like Sani was alluding, that people are corrupted, have actually stolen state funds, and they say, no, I mean, hit them with kids' gloves and stuff like that. And we say, God, what should God do about that? Because God has given us crude oil, God has given us everything. Crops that we could. God has given us everything. So why do we now call God? Oh, God, come and help us to carry the country. Because the country is heavy. My goodness, we have to come again. Yomi.
Well, you're quite right. When I look back again, this next headline would tell you exactly the damage. I've been reviewing KWARA State in the last week now, and each time I dig into it, there's more information coming out of it. And, the last information I was able to retrieve was the first governor that also was able to steal $3.5 million US, and was kept at Cayman Island. He died here in London again, as usual, after serving his 4 years term. He didn't get the backing of, one of the dynasty called the Saraki, that the father backed the first governor. This same governor was a military administrator in 1987 in Ogun State. He was also a naval officer. So you can see that when we were going into the transition of the 1999, we have the same caliber set of people where you convert the money back as at the exchange rate in 2008 when the money was detected at Canaan Island. That's about almost 3.4 billion naira that left the offshore of Nigeria. That will have helped this next headline. Nigeria digital infrastructure inadequate for cashless economy, according to the World Bank. The Nigerian digital and financial infrastructure is inadequate to support a swift transition to a cashless economy. I don't know how Nigeria is going to be a cashless economy, in the next 30 years, because when you look at almost every part of Nigeria, they are still running what they call a POS. You can hardly even get an ATM that is just mandated somewhere where you can withdraw money. So how do you do a cashless, system, which Emefiele wanted to implement when he was saying that people should try to trade without exchanging the money? It's not like UK where you can hardly spend money sometime. The bank stated that this was one of the reasons the Central Bank of Nigeria redesigned the policy that failed. This policy did not just fail. Loss of lives, loss of businesses collapsed, people died, and that is the reason why Bola Tinubu is still holding Emefiele that wanted to run away. We don't know whether he's going to get justice or whether he's just going to be let go, but he's asking for a good health care now, because according to him, his health is not as fit. And that literally means that someone said that it seems that those that are kept by the DSS always say their health is not fit, but it seems that their health get fit, but we know that sometimes it is not true. Somebody like Nnamdi Kanu health is getting failure every time. But it disclosed this in a Nigerian development update in June, seizing the opportunity report. It affirmed that the policy led to a scarcity of cash, negatively impacted the economy actively in the early month of 2023.
Now, it's interesting. When we want to create something, we always try to do it, not getting the necessary facilities. I mean, we talk about the UK where we are introducing more of electric cars. Now, they've not gone, blanket ban on other vehicles that use other fuel. So, we will say that they've just introduced everybody use electric cars and they don't have adequate charging points. They won't do that. So they roll it gradually. But we don't see the government in Nigeria or on the African continent doing so, especially when Emefiele introduced this new currency, and then there was that scarcity and reducing the amount of money that individuals can withdraw. Now they've introduced something that if you are doing what do you call it? Is it? It's not the cashless one, the one that we just touch and go. What's the name?
Countless.
Yeah, contactless. Yeah, the contactless one. Yeah, the contactless one. They are giving a limit. And I was yesterday looking at it and I said, that is good in a way, because just in case somebody makes your card, you cannot just go and just bam, and then steal all your money. So that is a good move. But how many cash points, how many individuals have got contactless machines in their businesses where it can be used so that we can reduce people walking about or moving around with cash in their hands?
Well, the question is Nigerians are still used to moving with cash, because it's just that the system is not there to support it. When it comes to even some of the hotels do not accept card payment. So there's still a lot of work to do, and that is why I met a young Ghanaian that flew to Nigeria some few, I think in April, and he was saying to me, they're trying to move this music festival that happens every year from Ghana to Nigeria. And he keeps saying to those organizers that this is going to be a total paralyze, because Nigeria is still not yet, even in Lagos, to be able to accept card payment. So and most people that will be flying in, they also have a certain amount of cash that they can travel with. So that literally means that, to run that kind of event, most places in Lagos is not accepting, credit card and debit card. Even those in Nigeria are not allowed to spend their own card, whether to buy goods outside the country, because it's going to be converted back to where the central bank will be held responsible for such transactions. But it seems that the APC chieftains are working very hard, as they are now urging Nigerian government to invest in fuel subsidy fund in electric vehicle.
Well, they shouldn't introduce something so that now people will be at home. They cannot even go out at all. They shouldn't do that. But
the Chief Justice of the All Progressive Congress, Mustafa Adu, said yesterday that President Bola Tinubu's decision to remove fuel subsidy will boost the growth in the electric vehicle. Most cars will probably be stopping at Ojuelegba and Songo because they've run out of battery that have charged it, because they couldn't charge it very well overnight. Because most vehicles that use that, the Tesla that I say here, they do have a power point all over the place where they can charge it overnight. But imagine where a country does not even provide electricity is talking about having electric vehicle. Maybe that is ahead before the electricity itself?
I don't know. Honestly, some of the people that we elect. All right, then, listeners, Star Radio UK. Bishop says that I believe at a point God will actually come down, visiting Nigeria for lying against him, so he can punish them all. Oh, Bishop, no, we don't want God to come and punish us all. Please, we hope that those who are leading us, they'll start using what God has given them, rather than say, "Oh God, come and help us." Well, it is Star Radio UK. Now, yesterday, once you were not on, the EU Electoral Monitoring Group, who monitored the 2023 election, the February one, came out with a slamming report against the INEC, saying that, what happened wasn't actually good enough. And then INEC has come out to actually bash the EU or poo-poo the EU report there. Now, do you have any information pertaining to that? And how do you think that is going to affect the hearing that is going on, Yomi?
Well, does that make any difference? Is what Nigerians are saying. The EU, I've just wrote a report. Report has been written in the last how many years of any election in the Federal Republic of Nigeria from 2015 to 1999, and nothing seems to change. It's just that somebody get paid by the EU, grant, that allows and enables the EU observer to travel to Nigeria. In reality and in fairness, the election itself, as everybody knows, has not been a very perfect one, and it has never been. When you go back to somebody like the emeritus Professor Adebanji Akintoye, stating it categorically that the first ever election that was put together by the British was rigged in 1959, and just after that we had the military coup, and later on there was a second republic, and Buhari came in and destroyed that again in 1983. Babangida came in, overthrown, and we thought 1993 was going to bring us a better opportunity, and again the election was thrown into shambles. So the EU coming is just a rhetoric as far as we are concerned, but it is always good for them to put this report out there. But whether the INEC chairman that was celebrating his own festival by King, and somebody was putting on Twitter that, how do these people have God conscious? You went back to your state to kill ram and then use that ram to plead to God, knowing fully well that you destroyed the 2023 general election. How God is going to accept that ram is just a complete different entity entirely. And that has been, the message again, as a lot of Nigerians still believe that the election petition will turn things around. Even I picked up, and I actually screenshot it, because it seems that there are still many Nigerians that believe that there will be a change. Bola Tinubu might end up not still becoming the president. I want to see if I got that. There's somebody actually, according to Omotayo Williams, at Kaduna resident, said yesterday, 29th of May 2023 is the last 29th of May a president will be sworn in. Write this down. I don't know whether he saw that in vision, whether it's got to do with the election petition, because what they're saying is, according to those that still believe in Peter Obi, that by the time Peter Obi comes back, then he will have to start from whenever is put back. That literally means that May 29 will change the narrative. Bola Tinubu was sworn in just a month ago, but by the time the election tribunal make any changes, and that happened in Anambra State, according to what they are saying. But according to Mr. Clark, underneath say Peter Obi is coming. So I've just screenshot that for my own record purpose and wait to see whether truly and truly May 29, 2023 will be the last May a president will be sworn in. And he actually said we should write it down. So I don't know, what kind of a, spirit is talking to him, but we will wait and see. Let me come back again to you, Mr. Anchi.
Well, constitutionally, it's the 29th of May that the president had to be sworn in. So whatever happens, I don't think that will change at all. But listeners, let us know. Do you think that even if the petition hearing, the election petition hearing goes on, and we see that truly what happened, there was some flaws, serious flaws that could impact the final result, do you think we need to let Tinubu get off, and then whoever, whether it's Atiku or Peter Obi, take the reins? Is that what we think that should happen? Or would you just let things go, and then come next elections, we will see different things? Let's hear from you as well. Pastor Moore says, on serious politicians, and Bishop Adesina says, transportation and markets in Nigeria based on cash. simply because these sectors are 100% private operators. Now, cashless machines like the POS or other gadgets should be introduced to those units. And it goes on to say this is when cashless policy can be greenfield. Yeah, of course, I agree with him, because if you want to introduce that, you want to go about that, make sure that the necessary facilities or gadgets that needs to enhance whatever policy you are rolling out is all there. But they've not done that. They are putting the cart before the horse, which is not supposed to be that way. But let's see what you have to say. But well, moving on to some of the other stories here. Yomi says, well, 57 senior officers, Navy senior officers have been reshuffled. And how is that going to impact the new naval boss? Yomi.
Remember that Navy is a very powerful one when it comes to anywhere in the world, because you need those Navy, especially they are very good on the sea, they're good also on air. But it seems that, as usual, when there's a reshufflement, there's a new sheriff in town, he also wants to try new things that he has had in his mind. But it's just that because somebody was leading that position, he couldn't do so. But the Nigerian Navy has now reshuffled the appointment of all the top senior officers, comprising 56 rear admirals and commodore. The Director of Information, Commodore Adetun Ayo Vag-an, in a statement today said those affected by the reshuffling are Rear Admiral Olusonya Bankole, formerly the Director of the Logistics Defense Space Administration, is now appointed as the Chief of Communication and Information Technology, Navy Headquarters, while Rear Admiral Alexander Bingley, formerly Director of Combat Policy and Tactics, is now the Director of Logistics Defense Headquarters. And there's so many other names as well that follow. The former Director of Plans, Navy Headquarters. So the reason might be that, as we know, this is a new man in charge. So he's just making sure that he can put in those again that are also capable to move that sector. Once again, as we know, there's still a lot of issues when it comes to pirate on the water. I was following that on the internet. Most of the ships that move around are being also monitored, especially in a situation like Nigeria, where there's a lot of smuggling in and out of the country, and most times these are done on the waterways in Nigeria.
Wow. Listeners, Star Radio UK, do you think that the reshuffling that has taken place in the Navy is going to have a positive impact, or you think people are going to now think that, whoa, what has happened? I say it's good morning to you. It's a morning to Mr. Archie and Mr. Koiki and the rest of the team. And morning to you. We hope you are doing very, very well. It is Star Radio UK, 11:40 the time. We'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Thank you so much. Ladoja reject Makinde's plan elevation of High Chief is coming from one of the headlines. Olympia Okorodu, if you just take me out there so that we can get the system before it shut down itself.
Okay, listeners, just bear with us whilst Yomi try to sort that out. Yes, it's what do we call it? We're using gadgets to be working, so at times the technology goes cuckoos there, and it seems to have gone cuckoos one more time. But just bear with us whilst we try to sort that out. But well, he's going to be telling you more about all that is happening. I believe at a point, God will actually come down. That's what Bishop Adeshina is saying, as I did read earlier on. Some of the other comments or stories that Yomi is going to be looking at. Richer Nigerians lose more. They lost more purchasing power. And of course, we know, because they say that they have lots of money, and therefore, definitely, they might have lost or lose more when it came to the spending or purchasing power. But let's go back to Yomi from our North London studios. He's all ready to fire. Yes, Yomi, over to you.
So we go back again to some of the rest of the headline, and that will then take us straight to the social media this morning. Once again, as those that have celebrated will now continue to put the reality of the current state of hunger in Nigeria. But there was also a friction in Osun State between the governor and one of the state senator, that led to where the governor decided that I'm not going to be praying anymore at this prayer ground. The Eid Kabul governor Adeleke aides, APC chieftains clash at the praying ground. They didn't even have any respect for what they were planning to do. Mr. Adeleke said he was prevented from observing the 2 rakat at the prayer rite at the Eid ground. A mid-drama erupted yesterday at Osogbo Central Eid prayer ground as Governor Ademole Adeleke aides and the chieftains of the opposition of the APC in Osun clash over a sitting arrangement. Remember that there are 2 different political parties, and it seems that they cannot even adjust at the prayer ground. It just shows that Nigeria is full of drama all the time. So we're going to move swiftly to the social media because of the time spent already. And as we do know, there's a lot when it comes to social media, especially when it comes to one of the singers that has now been brought in 2 women coming out simultaneously that he is now going to father the 2 children. And that is the one and only Davido. Day before yesterday and yesterday, a French woman came out yesterday, one came out in America the day before, and both of them are saying that it seems that Davido is going to father the children for both of them. They don't know each other, but the other one in Paris is now asking the question, how many of us are we going to be football team? It seems that has dragged a lot of conversation and generated a lot of discussion when it comes to the social media. So let's go straight and say what other more before we come back again to you in the studio. Once again, as we always say, it is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And let's take one, from one of the Twitter handle, African Confidential says every politician echoing the narrative that Nigeria must remain one are people who have ruined your lives in one way or the other. Joining into the echo same means giving them more chances to do worse, because you are in effect telling them that they haven't ruined your life enough, with the emoji of the 2 hands spread out. Adeleke, like I said, is trending very well. I'm also looking at, I'm not sure, okay, this happened last year according to Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the government in exile of the Biafra. Last year, 2022, the Asari, Tinubu, Shetima, and APC Islamic Jihadis Special Force doing this. Some of those are no more. They are collected to. So it seems that they're forcing people into a particular vehicle. I think these are probably maybe terrorists operating in the southeast. Also, Uzumba Madeway Avenue is trending. Also, the vehicle, the convoy. We might talk about that maybe tomorrow. How many vehicles do a president need? Even though the presidential spokesman or some of the team have come out to defend that Bola Tinubu left Lagos Airport with so many other governors and different, personnel, and this is the first time he's coming to Lagos after becoming the president. So we counted the vehicle. There's about 110, and we lost count in between. One thing that has been trending a lot is Renew Shege. Renew Shege means that 1,000 naira now for tomato. And this tomato is quite ripe. I can count how many in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're buying 7 pieces of tomato at exactly £1. So Renew Shege is the headline that has also been trending. Also, let's say one more from the social media. It seems that Choma, the wife of Davido, will be taking a lot. Journalist and also a clinical and retail pharmacist from 1998, known as a PR specialist, one that doesn't seem to giving it to Davido. He knows Davido very well because he actually looked after Davido in Atlanta before Davido's mother died when Davido was still a very, very young baby. And that is Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. Why do you like Kemi Olunloyo? Truth in journalism as compared to the fake Nigerian mainstream media, using the hashtag MediaCamp30, my anniversary hashtag for February 9th, 1994. I want to read and retweet. And he went on to say, if you know Nuru's parent personally, get me their phone number. I'm not sure. According to what we have there, Nuru Yaya was a 13-year-old GSS2 student of the FGC Kwawali, Abuja. He died on the 9th of August after severe beating by his teacher for failing to do his assignment. Nigeria is just a crime scene. And also, he's been talking a lot when it comes to the issue of Davido and the wife. And the last one is she posted about 15 minutes ago. Chama speaks, Nigerian Igbo single moms must marry their baby daddies. if the kid dies in order for the dad to bury the child, a completely useless tradition in all ramifications. Chioma Adeleke sent out a statement to Davido's fam to cry for themselves that she knows a man and married him like that. You married him to release your daughter corpse to him, Chef Chichi. So it seems that Davido is still a little bit managing the current situation. As Chioma says, I am happy. She's my husband. Just leave him alone. Even if he pregnant as many women out there, it does not matter. It's not your business, as Nigerians will say. He has the money to look after them. As long as I am still the only one that is legally married, he can have all those side chicks. And the question people are asking is, how come Davido was not protecting himself during the course of all this?
That's a serious one there. But well, we'll leave that one for another day to be discussed. But listen, Star Radio, Mr. Laimiko in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria, where we're going to be landing pretty soon. But has there been any response? I mean, people are pushing and pulling. 29 days after the president being sworn in. Any response to Professor's letter, or any response to the IPOP, anything at all?
Well, it seems, Tinubu is still very busy with so many on his hand. There hasn't been any response yet, but as soon as we have any, we'll be updating and we'll be following that as well. But for now, it seems that he's moving from Lagos to Ogun State, where I believe there's an upcoming event there, because I picked that up just as I was coming on air. But we'll be giving more information on what happened in Ogun State, as more Nigerians are still excited that it's a Yoruba man that has now taken the arms of affairs as compared to Buhari. Why Buhari is still in London, we're still investigating that. And when we have any details, I'll be reporting that again in the next couple of days.
Wow. A final one. Has the DSS boss been changed? And do you think that if the DSS boss is changed, it can turn situations around?
Not literally, because Tinubu believes that he needs to change all those that were there. Yes, we now have a new man in place. That's Nuru Rubadu is now taking the affairs of the DSS from Mungono. Those changes have happened already at the DSS headquarters. We're just waiting for clarity on the EFCC, which is still the only one. Bawa has been removed. There's an acting, but we are waiting to see when next at the late night Tinubu will be removing the next person and allow the next person. Most of his ministers have not been appointed, but he has guaranteed that in 60 days we will have that. So that means we have the next 30 days in July ending to have a full squad of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to run the affairs of Nigeria for the next 4 years.
Okay. Yomi, let me say thank you very much for another wonderful update from there.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Okay. He will be coming your way tomorrow with another update. But let me read some of the comments that Bishop Adeshina has posted. He said, I was shocked when my wife asked me to see her off to market to purchase ingredients for soap. Now, 2 days soap, which costs 4,000 naira, now goes for 10,000 naira. And they say in Nigeria, seasonable soup. It is soup. Seasonable soup for 2 days now costs 10,000 naira. Okay, so it's soup. Is it soap or soup? It might be soup, because ingredient for soup. So it's a soup. I mean, yes, not soup. Yeah. So that's okay. That's okay, my bishop. I learned that it's soup. So a soup that could have been prepared. I mean, just weeks or months back, 4,000, and now it's going to cost him as much as 10,000 to prepare that same soup. Wow. Where would he get that extra money from? So if it's not somebody who is actually, strong-minded, who knows that, okay, I need to be straightforward, then what do? People have to be compromised. Or how do people survive? Let me hear from you. I mean, how
you are actually surviving that? Because it's quite a difficult one. Someone will say across the globe, yeah, the Ukrainian war, Russian-Ukraine war that is going on. Yes, the COVID, the lockdown, and everything that went on, and that is all that is caused all this. The high prices in crude oil. But the question is, Nigeria is a crude oil production country. How come that I don't get it? So what's the point? Do we really even need that? Why don't we leave that so that next generation, when they come, maybe they will have a proper mindset and they will be able to make sure that they maybe develop it and then actually make more money out of it. What do you think? Well, it is already okay. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's have a commercial break. We come back. I'm going to bring you a lovely tune, and this one is from Janet. It says Arabani. I'll be bringing that your way. But before then, a quick commercial break. Stay tuned.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little picking up. It's low in calories and has a
bàbá o. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà ni wá. Òtútù àlàládá ní òtítọ́ lágbádá ní. Àkísọ́dálẹ̀ àkísọ́dọ́lẹ̀ ìtara.
We're bringing the world closer to you.
Ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àdúgbò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tilẹ̀ lọ́kọ̀ ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá nǹkan mọ Adéyẹmọ. Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá tí ń jẹ́mọ̀ láyà yàrá orúkọ tó ń dẹ̀rù bó lórúkọ gan-an. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn o torí pé wúrà a kò lè fojú egbodò láyé títa ríro lẹ̀dá ìkọlà wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o. Ọ̀wọ́n ẹni ní mágbára wọná ẹ̀dá kan lè ṣù wá lọ́nà mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àti mọ̀ṣọ̀kan ká lè débìrì ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ọ̀ṣà ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú alágbàdo òde ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi ọmọ gègèrè wodò sànyà ìsànyà òrẹ́ràn bàbá yín láàrin yìí omi ìfẹsìnà ń tán sí yín lẹ́nu ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho ìkan ṣe yín ní dágbàdàbọ̀ ìkan ní mọ́ rọra ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sánrán ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sún wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọn ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho áfíkan pọpọ sí amúkan yòókù bọ́sàn àtúmúyà rẹ̀ tí olóró gbọ́ á fi ṣẹ̀rù wálé wàrà mòdé ọmọ onílé ọ̀la àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ṣègbéṣègbè tọ́láwọn onígbomi tó sinmi wọ́n láwọn onígbomi sànyàwó ẹsẹ̀ ìgbà tójú kò fún kọ́ gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sinmi wọ́n sì bomi sànyàwó ẹsẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé ọ̀kan ṣẹ́ ọ̀kan tẹ̀ ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé tí wọ́n rẹ́ṣọ́ kiri gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho onírèrè láéláé torí àbá lásán lè kàn dá òkúta òṣèlú fún wọn ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ kò pọ́sibú kó dòdò láyé yìí ó kù díẹ̀ títọ́ ìdomi láyéláyé ìtọ́ orílẹ̀ ìdomi Sunday Ìgbòho arógun má ti di tó ń jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé tó kó.
Mo kí ogun wa pé ṣe láfíà ni mo bá gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí and welcome to Enini Thursday 29 of June 2023. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Elédùmarè lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí as we continue to educate and create the awareness. Lótìtọ́ awareness yẹn must not stop, it must continue as much as possible. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa káàkiri ibi tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. Okay, orin tí mo play tán yẹn, I can send it, mo lè send it sínú group wa. Ọ̀kan share abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta. Màá send it sínú, okay, I think I can post it. If I post it, I'll download it. I'll see if I can find it because I wà nínú àwọn ibi tí mo tọ́jú fídíò mi sí lórí archive. Àpò tá a bá ti gbé nǹkan sínú software, ó dà pọ̀ ń dàbí tí Ìgbòho wà ní ẹjẹ́ àwọn bí a máa tètè rí. Màá kàn post it sórí Twitter bí Facebook, ẹ lọ download ẹ níbẹ̀. So ẹ lọ download ẹ. Mo tẹ̀mọ̀ ètò jẹ́nu gbogbo ẹ̀ níbí báyìí. Ọmọ ìta ìtúlẹ̀. Ọmọ àwa jáde ti gangan lélẹ̀ Ìgbòho ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn ilé náà. ìyẹn kọ́ nìyẹn tó ṣùpá lélẹ̀ rádì lélẹ̀ màá wá jáde màá bá yín post ẹ̀.
This is a press release.
I have too many videos on archive. For easy to be a journalist. Mumbo, we need that to be there for a few minutes.
ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àdúgbò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọmọ ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tilé tókó ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá nǹkan wọn Adéyẹmọ Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí àrá orúkọ tó ń dẹrù bò lórúkọ gan-an ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú gbogbo láyé títa ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ dákọ̀lá wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o. ọ̀wọ́n irin ní mágbẹ́rẹ́ wọná ẹ̀dá kan lè ṣe wá lọ́nà mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àtìmọ̀ṣọ́ kan ká lè débi rere ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nínú alágbàdo òde.
màá wá orin yẹn jáde màá post ẹ̀ ó wà ní archive mo kàn mọ ibi tí ó wà exactly but nísìnyí tẹ̀sán gan nísìnyí I should look for it and re-edit the tó bá sí ra wà ní videos. There's so many videos. Ojoojúmọ́ là ń ra external. Ẹ kàn imagine gbogbo àwọn videos tó ń lọ lórí YouTube. Ìjẹ́ ìmọye anyway náà àwọn ti ra big terabyte and space. So gbogbo àwọn videos tí gbogbo èèyàn ń ṣe tó ń gbé sórí ẹ̀. Ká lè imagine èmi nísìnyí ọlọ́lọ́mọye tí external drive tí mo ti ní lọ́wọ́. Tí a kàn ń save gbogbo àwọn videos ẹ̀ ó kàn dùn mí pé the beginning of our transmission mo tètè download àwọn videos mi kan so especially when we first started the movement so it's good to document all these things that we are doing but màá wá fídíò yẹn jáde ó kéré àpò òun lélẹ̀ mo ti rí òun lélẹ̀.
ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àdúgbò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tilé tókó ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá nǹkan wọn Adéyẹmọ Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí àrá orúkọ tó ń dẹrù bò lórúkọ gan-an ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn o torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú gbègbodò láyé títa ríro lẹ̀ dákọ̀lá wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o ọ̀wọ́n irin ní mágbẹ́rẹ́ wọná ẹ̀dá kan lè ṣì wá lọ́nà mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àtìmọ̀ṣọ́ kan ká lè débi re ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú alágbàdo òde ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi ọmọ tèlè wodò sànyà ìsọ̀yà ò rẹ́ràn bàbá yín láàrin ìdí omi kò sì náà ń kán sí yín lẹ́nu ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho ìkan ṣe yín ní dábàjàbọ̀ ìkan ní mọ́ rọra ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sánrán ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọn ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ fẹ̀sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho á fi kan pọpọ sí amúkan yòókù bọ sànyà àtúmúyà rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ gbọ́ á fi ṣẹrù wálé wàràmùjẹ ọmọ onílé ọ̀la àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ségesège tọ́láwọn ò ní bomi kó sí mu wọ́n láwọn ò ní bomi sànyà wẹsẹ̀ ìgbà ojú kòbìrín ń kọ́ gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu wọ́n sì bomi sànyà wẹsẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé ọ̀kan ṣẹ́ ọ̀kan tẹ̀ ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé tí ń ránṣọ kiri gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho onírèlẹ̀ láéláé torí àbá lásán nìkan ń dá òkúta ò ṣe gbé fún wọn o ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ kò pọ́sibú kó dòdò láyé ń bí ó kù díẹ̀ tí tó domi láéláé tó nílé domi Sunday Ìgbòho arógun má ti dí tó ń jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé tó kó.
ẹni tó bá fẹ́ orin yẹn ẹ bá lọ sórí Facebook mo ti post ẹ̀ síbẹ̀ nísìnyí title Chief Sunday Igboho we love you so kẹ́ lọ download ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ń wá software tẹ́ fẹ́ fi download màá ṣàlàyé fún yín bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe lè download náà ẹ fún mi ní few minutes. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí so let's play the anthem and then we start the afternoon broadcast so ẹ jẹ́ ká play anthem wa ẹ̀kọ́ àti junior sí. We are just less than an hour into the program. Let's chat me jáde. Let's see why. A very good afternoon and welcome to everyone that have joined. Let's cut some things down because after a key program you don't disconnect. KWARA State mo ti fi padà sí ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ yìí ọ̀lẹ́ ní rather Kwara State ni mo ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. So my broadcast will focus on Kwara State. But jẹ́ kí n play anthem and then we will then go straight into the conversation. Mo kí bàbá wa Professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè, Chief Bánjí Ayélóge, mo kí ìlànà káàkiri ibi tí ẹ bá wà, mo kí YSDM, Ìbà Gani Adams and the rest of everyone, Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà gbogbo yín àtàwọn ọba náà, ẹ bá support, ẹ bá máa support. Bó bá yá gbogbo yín máa get message yẹn, problem tí yín yẹn kò ṣe problem tí mi. Nígbà táwọn aráàlú bá rí vote tó dìde sí ẹ mọ̀ pé tá à ń sọ ó yẹ kẹ́ dá sí i. Òun lélẹ̀ ká fi bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Again. No going back. Ìgbòho òòṣà iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ ń tẹ̀síwájú. Mr. Koiki ẹ ṣé o, àwọn ọmọ mi ló ń kí yín o. Àwọn ọmọ mi ló ń kí yín o. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, a máa délẹ̀ lérí o lórúkọ Jésù. Yorùbá nation.
And let's come back out to the conversation. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé a very good afternoon. Mo kí everyone that have joined and those that will be watching it later as well. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kí gbogbo ibi tí olúkálùkù ti ń manage láti survive. The world is about survival to the fittest. And tó bá lè survive ni, nothing is going to come free. So, but if only Nigeria bá ti prepare wa fún so many things tó fi ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa ní ayé tá à ń gbé nísìn, some of us will not be bothered àti gbà pé okay fair enough, bí Nigeria ṣe fi ṣayé tiẹ̀ nìyẹn, ó ti fi tiẹ̀ kó bá wa, but Nigeria gan prepare mind wa, àwọn tó dẹ̀ kó tó prepare mind wa irọ́ ló pa. So as many people will say Ọlọ́run la máa fi bẹ̀, a máa bẹ̀ náà ni, a máa bẹ̀ náà ni tó máa fi gbé result yẹn wá. And that has been the rhetorics for years. I'm not sure. I just want to be sure that nothing is going to collapse this system before we even start. So I'm trying to cut down as many of what I'm doing prior to coming to the broadcast. I hope we will be able to Benny, Comrade Plan B. Nigeria is a bastard country. Nowhere to buy peace, airpiece at area shops. No bulk buying again. With 10,000 before, I will buy pack of soap, a cream, 2 different perfumes, and all. Táwọn yẹn tẹ̀sí ń lo perfume ṣá, ìwọ tẹ̀ máa ṣì wá okay. Ṣé n tó ti jẹ́ máa lo toiletry, á lo deodorant. Gbogbo yẹn wọ́n máa rùn gbò tó bá wà ní bus, wọ́n máa rùn gbò pa ẹ́. Mo kí Pastor Mo, ẹ̀ka sọ́mà. Mo kí Ọlánipẹ̀kun, mo rí ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. You know, people are living inside illusion. Oṣèjàre Comrade Plan B. You know. Yeah, I mean, these are things that is meant to be used. Mo kí bàbá wa Happy Eid, Mubarak. Fẹ́ràn ọdún ránṣẹ́ Mr. Lateef Ọlámídé. Mo kí ẹ̀ta wà lórí Instagram, gbogbo yín náà ni mò ń ké jàre. Àtútù padà as usual. Mo kí àwọn ìyàwó mi, mo kí àwọn ọmọ mi, mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Orí platform tí bíbà ẹ̀ òun la ti máa ń discuss in tó relate mọ́ foreign policy international tó bá fi gbọ́ nǹkan tó wà international. Kò yé yín nísìn. So this is the channel tó ti máa jókòó gbọ́. Bíbá yóò ṣe gossip center tó bá ń wá gossip center wà lọ sórí Twitter. Mr. Solomon mo kí yín. Shout out to my beautiful mother Lanre Lamina mo kẹ́yìn ti UAE Egypt mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Tony Ages mo kẹ́yìn ti Miami Canada mọ́mí wa kan send voice sí mi wọ́n ní Koiki grandma ni wọ́n she's in the 80s wọ́n ní táwọn bá pẹ́ Nàìjíríà làwọn wà ní Ìgbòmìnà ní Kwara State àwọn àti kú ti pẹ́ wọ́n ní gbogbo owó lọ́jẹ àwọn ní council ọ̀sánwó fáwọn ẹmọ̀ kí Kwara ni mo ti ń treat láti over few days nísìn Kwara náà la tún máa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí lọ́sàn-án yìí so mo kí grandma ó ṣeé ṣe kẹ́ṣẹ̀ máa jí ni time send message èmi náà ti fẹ̀gbẹ́ lélẹ̀ èmi náà máa ń rest dáadáa àwọn kan rò pé bí àmọ̀ kì í sùn ẹnu ìrìn sójà ò kì í sùn náà èmi máa ń sọ fáwọn ará ilé mi mo kí gbogbo yín bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé mo kí GR1 Miss Omitola Kẹ́hìndé mo kí yín ẹ ṣé gan ni Bishop Adesina thank you so much a ti ṣe program kọjá láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ ní 4:00 lóru nígbà tí wọ́n ń sùn èmi ń ṣe program lọ́wọ́ mo educate àwọn èèyàn o lè sáré lọ wò tó bá parí ilé kò ju 2 hours náà lọ kò sígbà tá a lè jáde the more resources we have the more tẹ́ máa gbọ́ Koiki tó máa dún 24 hours ní live transmission because tí bá ní káwọn ọmọ tó wà nílé kọ́ máa go live ní 2 hours bébí náà ṣe ń ṣe ẹ lè imagine the cost of that but ẹ rí pé àwọn ọmọ yẹn ń gbìyànjú at least ọṣọ yìí ní ìdí lánàá even if it's not for 5 minutes but they're working behind the scene and we're trying to do things that can become mo kí ẹ láti Lagos Island èèyàn ti Koiki Yẹmí Fátókè ẹ̀gbọ́n mi mo kí Alaba Richard mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Lagos State like I always say Yorùbá kan náà ni gbogbo wa èmi dẹ̀ sọ pé kẹ́ enjoy Bọ́lá Tinubu dáadáa ẹ make sure pé ṣáà rí owó nínú ẹ̀ wàláì ó máa jí ni ó máa gbà lẹ́niwẹ̀ gba owó gidi lọ́wọ́ wọn owó tó tówó gidi ni kò má gbowó ralẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn ìwọ́n tó ń ṣe APC owó gidi ni kò gbà kó lè fi kọ́lé kó ra mọ́tò kó lè fẹ́yàwó méjì gan sí wá wọn ẹ̀ ní Davido ló ń fẹ́ wọn káàkiri yẹn nílé kan owó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ nínà mọ problem àwọn èèyàn fi Davido sílẹ̀ owó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ owó tó ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ Davido tó bá misuse ẹ̀ kò lè ná tán níbi tó ní kàndé problem tẹ̀ ní èèyàn kan mi. Ìwọ tó kàn mí ni mò ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ ìwọ tó wà lára àwọn abject poverty tí à ń jẹ láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ tó ń support APC ọ̀hún kí PDP kan ló wà nínú ìjọba make sure kó súnmọ́ tó bá yẹ pé ọmú ló máa gbé síyàn láyà kó gbé ọmú sí wọn kó gba nǹkan gidi gba change gidi lọ́wọ́ wọn torí pé ọdún 4 ni Tinubu ṣì ní gbọ̀n kó máa fix Nàìjíríà ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa kò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mìí ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ pé Tinubu máa fix Nàìjíríà kó tó lọ irọ́ ló pa ṣe gba nǹkan gidi máa jẹ́ for care àwọn cleaning services wa ní UK nìyẹn ẹ patronize wọn kò sanwó advert o wọ́n ṣe fún lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ni mo lè sọ pé àkínṣe advert ní bíbá but tòró máa ń wà pẹ̀lú wa lórí program mo lè ní tó bá ní problem táwọn tó bá lo service ẹ̀ tó bá ti ṣe dáadáa irú ẹ̀ bí àwọn ṣe Nàìjíríà wọ́n ń gbéra wọn lọ́kọ̀ọ̀tù nìyẹn èmi dẹ̀kọ́ mo polówó ẹ̀ mo kàn ní kẹ́ patronize ẹ̀ torí ọmọ Yorùbá ni. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wá fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan dáadáa nílé irọ́ ló pa kò ní ṣeé ṣe fún ẹ wàá máa try wàá máa rò pé bó ṣe ń fà yẹn pé kí ló dé tó ń steal ẹ̀yẹn lọ mú owó gidi wá lókè mo ní 1,000 naira yẹn mo fi máa fi ṣe reference torí pounds láàárọ̀ yìí nísìn ó ti lọ sókè wá àti bá ń ṣe yẹn ẹ jẹ́ ń gbé fídíò kan wọlé kájọ wò àti play kọjá láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ but since mo ń lo software nísìn pé ara tó bá wùyàn ni a máa ń dá lórí software wàláì advantage nìyẹn ara tó bá wùyàn nìyàn lè dá
mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin dádì jí o mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin aládùúrà left and right mo kí ní Dubai mo kí ní gbogbo ibikíbi tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ̀n ohùn mi tó bá ń dún létí yín. Àwọn kan ní Kóìkì ṣé rédíò máa wáyé ṣiṣẹ́ sùúrù náà ká sì máa tá bíabíọ lórí social media báyìí náà. Mo ní fídíò tí mo download yẹn wà kí ni mo fi save ẹ̀ orúkọ gbàjà náà ni mo fi save ẹ̀ wúdà olórí kórí ẹ̀ mo jù sí náà nísìnyí. Chief of staff báwo ni chief of staff tí mo fi save ẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ wà wà báyìí. Kò easy láti máa ṣiṣẹ́ ní orí system because when you have too many mo definitely ṣe pé ní fídíò mo jù sí tó bá ní so many files ibi táwọn kan ti fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ leléyìí o mo ti rí Fẹ́mi ni mo fi save ẹ̀ Fẹ́mi Gbàjàbíàmílà gbogbo ẹ̀yin Sùúrùlérè ẹ make sure pé gbé ọmú sí wọn lára kẹ́ gba owó gidi lọ́wọ́ wọn tí tá bá ti parí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tó lọ gba owó gidi lọ́wọ́ wọn wàá jẹ ẹmu yóò yá tí wọ́n ṣe ń ta gbáná ẹ ṣe ń ta gbó ní gbogbo ọ̀nà ṣítà yẹn ẹ máa bà àwọn èèyàn láyé jẹ́ ẹ máa ta gbó òkùnkùn sẹ́ni tó máa mú yín nísìn Tinubu ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì Tinubu gangan ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní ṣítà ẹ túbọ̀ máa ta gbó kẹ́ máa ta gbáná. Kẹ́hìndé Omítọ́lá is a man ọ̀dà ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gan ni Kẹ́hìndé náà ń jẹ́ orúkọ obìnrin Fẹ́mi Gbàjàbíàmílà fídíò òun references sí bíbá ẹni ọ̀kẹ́ lè mọ̀ pé òun ẹjọ́ tá a bá fi máa lò kan fídíò yà máa lò léraléra. So ẹ ṣáà make sure pé nínú ìjọba Bọ́lá Tinubu yìí o bẹ̀rẹ̀ business o jẹ́ kí business ẹ̀ kó boom o lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ hotel wọ́n tó wà ní diaspora tó ń gbọ́ project ni Bọ́lá Tinubu ti wà bẹ́ẹ̀ make sure pé o gbé project yẹn lọ sílé especially ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń support wọn má hold back mọ́ nísìn Tinubu ti wà níbẹ̀ policy tó máa ṣe máa dáná kí ló tún bẹ̀rù fún gba lóònù lamẹ́ríkà gba lóònù ní Canada gba ní Australia gba ní New Zealand lọ dá sí Nàìjíríà kó fi ṣe business kó ṣí hotel bẹ́ẹ̀ ni every Yoruba life matters. Mo kí Gbowó ṣá CSI mo kí bàbá Akíntóyè lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ fídíò ìgbọ́.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident therefore that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident therefore that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident therefore that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident therefore that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him.
ẹ jẹ́ àti gbọ́n tó sọ ẹ ti gbọ́n tí Fẹ́mi Gbàjàbíàmílà sọ pé wéètì yẹn pọ̀ gan-an ó ní wéètì yẹn pé Bọ́lá Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan ló máa lè gbóngàn fúnra rẹ̀ ò lè gbé ó ní Ọlọ́run Allah ló máa bá gbé so wọ́n ti ń prepare mind yín sílẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ wọ́n ti ń prepare mind yín sílẹ̀ bit by bit. Wọ́n ti ń prepare mind yín sílẹ̀ once again mo kí gbogbo ọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ tún wo àkọlé tá a fẹ́ fi ṣe program tọ̀sán ẹ̀ and let's discuss around it. pàrọ̀ mọ́ Allah, pàrọ̀ mọ́ Jésù, pàrọ̀ mọ́ this, pàrọ̀ mọ́ that. Mo kí Mr. Ọlámilékan, mo kẹ́yìn ti Ghana, Benin Republic, Togo, mo kí mọ́mí wa Adéjọkẹ́, gbogbo yín náà ni mo rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wọlé lọ́tún lọ́sì. I can see every one of you. Now, I am mo kí grandma, ẹ bá ń kí grandma náà nínú ilé. Mọ́mí mi Fọláṣadé Òjò, mo kí. If anybody is still paying or wants to think of paying into this Zelle, because in America, I want to keep going to repeat it all the time, especially to around where please do not pay any money into such account anymore. Now, let's come back to the reality. Okay, Mobolaji. Sorry, owó ilé òtẹ́ ọ̀run náà. This is 1,000 naira. Mo ní coins nílé ní £1 coin kankan fẹ̀sí lọ́wọ́ mi nínú ilé. This is now equivalent to £1. Owó tiwa ní bíbá. Owó tó ń wò yìí. Tó bá ní 1,000 naira láàárọ̀ yìí nísìnyí, kí ló lè fi ṣe? Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní ẹ bá ń sáré comment. Mo kí ẹ Rẹ̀mí official. Tó bá ní 1,000 naira, tí bá fún ẹ ní 1,000 nísìnyí pé gbà. Kí nìkan tó lè fi ṣe? Kò sọ fún mi náà. Anything, wàá ra pure water náà ẹ̀, wàá ra gálà. Tó lè fi jẹun ó lè fi jẹ àmàlà ṣítà. Ṣé £1 lè yọ ẹ láti fi jẹun ní ṣítà, lámàlà ṣítà? Èèyàn lè gbé olóṣó pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Èyí ò, ọmọ Bọ́lájí ìwọ tún lágbára o. Ṣé pé èèyàn lè gbé olóṣó pẹ̀lú 1,000 naira? Ṣé o ti wá wọ̀wọ́ tó yẹn ni? Ta ló ń pè? Àwọn àpè láti Nàìjíríà báyà ẹ̀ pé send message wa. Ẹlòmíà kọ́ máa test nọ́mbà yẹn. Ẹ bá ti rí nọ́mbà máa test ẹ̀. 1,000 can buy gàrí. Àrẹ̀pà náà bí. Ṣé ó lè ra ṣúgà? Bishop Adesina ní 1,000 naira can buy one family bread. Èèyàn mélòó ló máa jẹ? Family bread ẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn, èèyàn mélòó ló lè jẹ? Bẹ̀kọ̀ táwa bá ra sliced bread ní bíbá, à ń lè jẹ tán níjọ́ kan, at least ìjọ́ bíi 3 tàbá manage. 3 people. Tó máa rẹ ẹyin náà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ àbí kò ní rẹ ẹyin? Bread nìkan ló máa rà. Ọ̀rẹ́, ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ wà nù system tó ti collapse. Okay, kò rẹ ẹyin náà, so bread nìkan ló máa rà, àdúpẹ́ fọlọ́run. Ìyẹn á máa jẹ bread àti omi àbí. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí it is exactly 1 hour 23 minutes spent so far. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀ tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà, kò sí bá ṣe lè ṣe tí program yìí tó lè máa di pé ó máa short, kò possible. So mo mọ̀ pé ẹ̀ ná data ni. I wish there's other way round, but for now kò tí sí any other way round. Kò dẹ̀ sí any access sí frequency radio tó yẹ pé ẹ kàn lè tune in, ẹ máa gbọ́, kò tí sáyé yẹn. I know a lot of people are suggesting that, but for now kò tí sí ayé. So the only thing we have kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Lákúlé Jàlá ilé? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ kẹ̀? Mo ò rí gbogbo back end mi ṣá. What's going on now? Go live. Okay, go studio padà. Ṣé mo close ẹ̀ náà? Bóun ló close fún ẹ. Facebook nǹkan. Go live. Okay, relationship and be like view post. Interesting. Mo tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ ṣá. Ẹ̀yin rí but ní back end mi ò rí gbogbo edit post. Okay, ó ti padà nísìn. So mo ti rí báyìí nísìn. Mr. Adebanjo ni they can log on to MixLR from Nigeria. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, yeah, which we are promoting all the time. Mo dẹ̀ máa ń share link yẹn, máa make sure pé à ń fi link yẹn síta all the time. MixLR yẹn wà cheaper, kò ní jẹ data yẹn púpọ̀, kò ń ṣe rédíò báwọn tí bí ṣe ń parọ́ pé rédíò ni, it's just an audio transmission. Mo tún tún post ẹ̀ síta fún ìfànẹ́ tí ẹ bá fẹ́ lọ click lé lórí, so at least ẹ lè máa gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń lọ. If only more people can be sharing that, it will go a long way. So màá tún share sórí Koiki Oduduwa àtòrí Twitter. I was surprised because I didn't see all my back end, so mo mọ tó close ẹ̀ bí àgbà tí mo dìde náà, I don't know. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe á máa jú wá ṣe, àdúrà máa gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe ń jù lọ́tún lósì. Nigeria ó close gbogbo ohun tí mo ti ṣe ṣá, something must have closed it. Kò mo ti ṣe Kwara kìíní kan tí mo fẹ́ fi sọ̀rọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. Now I have to start all over again. Oh my God. Àwọn Sàràkí dẹ̀ mo fẹ́ fi sọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀ láàárọ̀ yìí. Mo ti ṣe rẹ́kọ̀dù wọn sílẹ̀ tí mo fẹ́ fi sọ̀rọ̀. Àwọn Sàràkí dynasty, àwọn olè. Ẹ jẹ́ wọn bí a mo lè pick ẹ̀ padà. Sàràkí. Yeah, asset. Ìdí náà wà lára nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí Sàràkí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ó tún ní máa nǹkan tí mo tú Nàìjíríà ti pààyàn gan-an. History tó yọ yẹn kò dá rárá. Mo lọ bá máa nǹkan pàdé náà. Wọ́n ń porúkọ máa yẹn ní a máa lọ sínú Second Republic lénìí. Sàràkí kàwé gan King's College ló lọ ní Lagos State. Ó dẹ̀ kàwé ní UK. Chatham College ló lọ. Ó kàwé gan láti 1979 títí dé 1981. Ó wá lọ sí London Hospital Medical College. Ó lọ sí University of London ní 1982 títí dé 1987 níbi tó ti obtain ní Bachelor of Medicine. You know, ó dẹ̀ ṣe Sàràkí worked as a medical officer at Rush Green Hospital ní Essex láti 1988 títí dé 1999. He was a director of the Solicit Bank. Báńkì yẹn collapse ni. From 1990 to 2000. In 2000, Olúṣẹ́gun Ọbásanjọ́ appoint Sàràkí as a special níbi tó ti máa ń rówó nìyẹn. Tó bá ti lè wọnú gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì báyìí pẹ́kẹ́. Ayé wọn bẹ́tà nìyẹn. Nǹkan change nìyẹn fún wọn. Ìwọ máa bú àwọn tó ń jayé yín mọ́lẹ̀. Ó ní máa nǹkan náà tí mo ka history ẹ̀ díẹ̀. Mo ń prepare back end ní o. A máa move sí back end nísìn. Máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Ọbásanjọ́ náà. Second Republic. Then wá ní òkè rà ń pè ní kíní ní Facebook ni mo ti máa rí yẹn. Kíní yẹn máa cut out lẹ́ẹ̀kan. So mo ti prepare gbogbo tí mo fẹ́ fi sọ̀rọ̀. System yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ round the clock. Calm rams into truck in Lagos, 7 escape deaths. Aloma celebrating. At least 128 Nigerian farmers were killed within 6 months. Wọ́n pa àwọn dànù àwọn lórí burúkú terrorist. Pa anybody dànù. Yóò ṣe. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn world media. Wọ́n pè máa kan ní Ayọ̀délé Awójọbí. Wọ́n bí wọn ní 1937. He died at age 47. I won't be surprised tó bá yẹ pé tí kò bá ń ṣe pé wọ́n pa ẹni yẹn ni. Awójọbí ló ń jẹ́. I picked up his story along the line as well. He's an activist kind of. Wọ́n máa ń pè ní Dead Easy ní nickname ẹ̀, the Akoka Giant. So now that I have everything I want to talk about, we can move swiftly into, just close this now. So we're good to go. Now. We're good to go. Yeah. So, a máa padà sórí Kwara State. Kwara ni mo fi ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ conversation mi again. Mo fi focus lórí àwọn Sàràkí. Bọ̀kí tó dọ́dọ̀ àwọn Sàràkí yẹn, a máa kọ́kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Kwara State. Ibẹ̀ la ti ń bọ̀. Take a look at the topic. The weight of Nigeria. Ṣé weight yẹn ló pọ̀ ní wọ́n fi rí Kwara náà ṣe? Ṣé weight yẹn náà ló pọ̀ ní wọ́n fi rí gbogbo state wa ṣe? Weight Nigeria. Weight ọrùn ti kẹ Nigeria. Weight yẹn ti pọ̀ jù. So ìwọ wá ń rò pé wọ́n lo orí kankan ṣe pé ọmọ kí ló dé tí gbogbo nǹkan ṣe wá tight báyìí náà weight yẹn ni. ìyẹn mo ṣe play video Gbajabiamila lẹ́ǹkan mo ti ṣe analysis ẹ̀ dáadáa but reason tí mo ṣe play nìyẹn because Gbajabiamila ó ń sọ ní Eid lánàá pé weight Nàìjíríà ti pọ̀ jù but Almighty Allah ló máa bá Tinubu gbé irọ́ ló ń pa sí ọ̀kan tó ń jẹ́ Almighty Allah ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ lẹ́ǹkan sí ká tó máa mú further sweep.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry.
Nígbà tó ń sọ pé ordinary human being kò lè carry weight Nigeria ó ní weight Nigeria the weight of Nigeria any normal human being. So is that indicating pé for the last 63 years or ká gé padà wá síwájú ṣé a lè sọ pé láti 1999 so ìrọ́kọ̀ ni gbogbo wọn pa fún wa. So everybody knows pé weight Nigeria yìí the weight of Nigeria the question then is why then tí wọ́n wá ń fi Nigeria play game ẹ jẹ́ àtúpadà ká gbọ́n tó sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
The weight of Nigeria.
Ẹni tó sọ lẹ́ẹ̀mejì ó ní the weight of Nigeria kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní weight tóyìnbó bá ní weight ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo English dictionary ẹ̀ weight GHT meaning tá bá sọ pé weight again one more time ṣé a lè mú wá síbí ẹ mọ̀ pé èmi nísìn tí bá lọ sórí weight nísìn tí mo lọ wo weight mi ó lè ní bóyá mo wà ní 74 mo tẹ̀ rántí mọ́ nísìn náà anyway olúkálukú ló gbọ́dọ̀ mọ weight ẹ̀ ìgbà míì kò ń ṣe pé orí èèyàn tó tóbi náà èèyàn lè tóbi but tó bá fit nínú tí heartbeat ẹ bá da Pastor Mo ni we thought they know how to carry the weight wọ́n ń carry ẹ̀ náà mọ́ mi but owó yẹn kàn lọ sókè ni bí Tinubu ṣe máa já wálẹ̀ nísìnyí mo ti mọ̀ bó ṣe máa já wálẹ̀ láti 1,000 owó yẹn ṣì wà ní 995 so equivalent almost 1,000 so Gbajabiamila ń jẹ́ ká mọ̀ nísìnyí pé ó ní the weight mo kí ẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí máa jẹ́ mo kí dáàdì wa Dáríjò ẹ káàsán gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ẹ má bínú ẹ jẹ́ ká move swiftly ṣùgbọ́n tó wà ní data ló ń jẹ rẹpẹtẹ. Only the weight tabani again a body relative mass or the quantity of matter contained by it giving rise to a downward force, the heaviness of a person or thing, a piece of metal known to weigh a definite amount and used on the scales to determine how heavy. Ṣé a lè agree nísìnyí pé Gbajabiamila fún wa ní hint pé ẹ̀yin lẹ́kàn rò pé mo kí ẹ jàre silver gold. Koiki, please, I want to join your WhatsApp group. Màá ní káwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ sign the group yẹn sí ẹjẹ́ ìwò bí a mo ní link yẹn a ní ti màá mú jáde fún mi sọ́dọ̀ àpé mo save ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ kan lórí iPhone mi ní rírà. Ìjà lè sọ nísìnyí pé weight tó ń sọ yìí tí a bá tètè we might all locked up in that weight because weight yìí nísìnyí Gbajabiamila wá ń jẹ́ kó yé wa nísìnyí pé the weight of Nigeria Bishop Adesina ní Koiki, if the weight of the naira is too heavy then that is more reason why they should divide Nigeria to its component unit so different nations can carry their burden according to their ability. Eshegoni, keep the comment coming and I'll be reading them out because it's more ẹni tó ń béèrè líǹkì mo tẹ̀ tí save ti Telegram sí bíbá ọmọ mọ̀ pé kí n ní ti renew shege lẹ́ máa jẹ lọ́wọ́ Tinubu tí mọ̀ bó ṣe ń lọ. Okay, dáhùn pé líǹkì lélẹ̀ náà join our YouTube channel lélẹ̀. The weight of Nigeria bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń sọ lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́wàá ọ̀kẹ́ òun lélẹ̀ ẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ join chat group wa màá lọ copy ti Telegram náà so ẹ jẹ́ kí n ju ilé wá sínú ẹni tó ń béèrè yẹn link yẹn ni mo ti send wọlé yẹn. Again, the weight of Nigeria the weight of Nigeria ẹja gbọ́n tí Gbajabiamila sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ olúkálukú tàmẹ̀ sí bí ó bá ṣe yí ẹ. African parrot only then yes, he's saying the truth. Nigeria is a poisonous already devil is in the weight. Until they divide the country, the weight will not be okay. Wahab Omboju ẹ ṣe máa lajú gan. Owó yìí ti di £1 to 995 naira. Ẹ jẹ́ àgbọn tí Gbajabiamila sọ níbẹ̀.
Weight of Nigeria. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry. Except.
Má tí mú except kankan wá kàjọ́ ní gbogbo yẹn. Ṣé rí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ẹ jẹ́ ká yọ nísìnyí ẹ ti understand it so àfi lo video ẹ̀ mọ́ for now. Let me move swiftly now. We are telling you that what is the definition of the weight? The force with which the body is attracted towards the earth or a celestial body by gravitation, which is equal to the product of the mass and the local gravitational acceleration. So tabanika lọ wo Kwara State. Olúbùkọ́lá ó ṣì máa rẹ́rìn múkẹ́lẹ́ nìyẹn. Ó máa rẹ́rìn múkẹ́lẹ́. Tẹ́ bá rí tó rọrùn rẹ́rìn. Ẹ̀kọ́ tí ìyá wọn yàn pé kóòdù ni Gbajabiamila fi bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn. Pé ẹrù tó ń bẹ nínú bíbá ó máa tó yé everybody. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí Kwara State. Kwara State ni mo fẹ́ lò as my ẹ̀rẹ́ mi àtàwọn ọlọ́pàá ẹ̀rẹ́kùnrin ọlọ́pàá wa bọ́lọ́pàá ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ wà lélẹ̀ ẹ máa rẹ́rìn síra yín. Can I take a selfie? And yes, come closer. Ìwọ ló máa sọ fún ọlọ́pàá kó come closer. Ìgbà mi tó bá dé filẹ̀ dáadáa ní kó dé filẹ̀ sórí eré mi àti ìyẹn ẹ pé gbogbo alájọ fẹ́ 32 èmi fẹ́ 32 tèmi àwọn náà fẹ́ 32 ilé náà fẹ́ 32 bó ṣe wà ní sí orí tó ń gbà ní every month. Now again ilé nísìn náà àfẹnilé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tiwa tíyàn kankan ní intimidate tó bá jẹ́ pé journalist ni ẹ kò lè register kò lọ máa broadcast kò dàbí èèyàn kan ní ayé mi ò sí police uniform ṣé pé uniform yẹn dá gan bready sexy mo rí ẹ o like uniform àwọn ọlọ́pàá yẹn orí wa bá ṣe fẹ́ 32 nọ́mbà wọn wà lára wọn gbogbo nǹkan wà lára wọn so kò sí pé fake ni wọn. Now let's come back to reality. Mo ní mo fẹ́ tún padà sórí Kwara State kò ń ṣe pé torí ahéètì àwọn ará Kwara next week láti Saturday a máa tún mú state míì tó jẹ́ bí Kogi òun la máa tún sọ̀rọ̀ títí di Friday tó bá tún di the following week a padà sí Ondo a máa mú wá títí tá a máa fi dé Lagos State every week ni so each state la máa mú. So níbi tájà ti ń ṣe ti Kwara lọ bí a kíkọ remind yín àwọn governors tó ti ṣe rí ní Kwara former governors kakọ bí refresher ní torí ọ̀la máa parí Kwara State former governors in Kwara State. A máa ti mọ̀ pé Kwara ní 16 local government mẹ́rìndínlógún bí àwọn èèyàn wá ṣe kọ́ mi ní Yorùbá yẹn mẹ́rìndínlógún. A dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé just a ti sọ nípa gbogbo àwọn governors yìí tabakọ̀ ní kákọ̀ refresh ni a ti sọ gbogbo ẹ̀tẹ́ bá ti gbọ́ program tá a ti ṣe ní wíìkì tẹ́lẹ̀ ká má waste too much time. Ó ti mọ wá tight ara mi mọ́ bí bàbá rẹ̀ pé mo tẹ̀ ní space kankan ṣá láti mú un. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mo yé yín nísìn but governor ta fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí nísìn lẹ́yìn ìgbà tá a ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kan send message lórí kinní sí mi wọ́n ní Muhammed Lawal tí a sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ wọ́n ló fẹ́ ṣe dáadáa àmọ́ Ọbásanjọ́ wà lára àwọn tí ó lépa. I don't know how true. I don't have any evidence to that. I am going according to what we have. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi yẹn wà ní ìlú kan wọ́n send message bí ọmọ Kwara State làwọn ni I don't know but wọ́n mo fẹ́ ka message wọn yẹn tí hopefully ti bá rí. Ẹ mọ̀ pé à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa gómìnà London lòun náà kú sí ní November máa yìí November 15, 2006 ló kú sí London bó wọ́n sí sí London wọ́n wá sí sí Ìlọrin ló gbé wá àwọn ọmọ tó dà àwọn ò fẹ́ kọ́ sin wọ́n síbi òtútù but ibi tó ń kówó lọ according to bá ṣe gbọ́ ó jí owó lọ sí Cayman Island to the tune of almost 3 billion naira equivalent but ẹ̀yin èèyàn tá a bá ń sọ fún yín pé ṣé wéètì náà ni kò jẹ́ kọ́rí Kwara ṣe kódà àwọn kìrìsìtẹ́nì tó ń bẹ ní Kwara dàbí amọ̀kànmọ́ ní Kwara ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nínú ṣe rí Kwara ó dàbí Kaduna tí wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ káwọn kìrìsìtẹ́nì jẹ gómìnà wọ́n ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ́ kó jẹ deputy governor so wọ́n marginalize àwọn tó jẹ́ Christian ní Kwara state wọ́n marginalize wọn ready láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n ní access so tá a bá ní kàtẹ́ wo lọ ẹ rí pé so far láti ìgbà tó ti ń ṣe election bukọ akọ̀húnwò from the ṣẹ́rí tá a bá ń ṣe program níbí bá èèyàn á máa wo projection èèyàn á máa wo trajection èèyàn á máa wo kí ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí tẹ́lẹ̀ láti lè fi back ọ̀rọ̀ tí yàn ń sọ tá a bá wo lọ wò ó bọ̀ nísìn tá a bá wo lọ wò ó bọ̀ a rí i pé ẹ jẹ́ ká forget gbogbo military administrator military governor tó ṣe ní àti second republic àti first republic ẹ jẹ́ ká mú láti 1999 tẹ́ bá wò láti 1999 according to the chart tẹ́ ń wò níwájú yìí Mohammed Lawal ṣé mùsùlùmí ni àbí kristẹni orúkọ yẹn automatically indicate that he is a Muslim àfi tí bá jẹ́ pé mo wrong ìyẹn kan lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kàn fẹ́ ṣe double check ni o àmọ́ pé definitely Mohammed Lawal kò lè jẹ́ orúkọ Christian Muslim ni ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. The next person Abdul Fattah no Bukola Saraki gbogbo alamọ̀ pé Muslim lòun náà bàbá Bukola Saraki ló báàkì Mohammed Lawal now mo fẹ́ padà sẹ́yìn díẹ̀ láti lọ sọ nípa that second republic wọ́n ti bà nǹkan jẹ́ gan ní Nàìjíríà tó ń ṣe léèlè mo ń bọ̀ mo lè ti prepare gbogbo kìíní ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ kó tó di pé kìíní ẹ̀ cut out so mo ń try láti ṣe adjustment yẹn padà second republic níbo mo ti okay let me just do something second republic Nigeria the second republic ní Nigeria let's do it properly second republic Nigeria ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ ka díẹ̀ nípa ìtàn yẹn tàbá kà because inú second republic ni bàbá àwọn Sàràkí ló ti wọlé as a senator so ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ti jẹ́ senator òkè wọ́n ní confam wọ́n ní Muslim ni so a ti mọ̀ pé yẹn náà ní sìn kí ló dé tó lè wọ́n bẹ̀ òkè ni mo sílẹ̀ òkè mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ àwọn 28 farmers tó pa second republic link tí mo fi rí àwọn governors let me open another browser so ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sẹ́yìn báyìí ká padà sẹ́yìn Abdul Fattah lẹ́yìn Mohammed Lawal Saraki ṣe ó di Muslim méjì Abdul Fattah Ahmed ó di Muslim mẹ́ta èyí tó tún ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ gómìnà wọn currently nísìn mo kí ẹ my beautiful aunty Gbemileke Abdulrazak Abdulrahman Muslim ni ó di Muslim mẹ́rin so in the space of 24 years wọ́n ti fún Christian láyè láti jẹ gómìnà ní Kwara State are we sure that wọ́n marginalize àwọn Christian àbí a kàn assume bẹ́ẹ̀ tí bá wrong ẹ fi sínú comment section tí bá dẹ̀ right ẹ jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ ǹjẹ́ gbogbo bá ṣe ń pariwo Kaduna ẹ mọ̀ pé gómìnà Kaduna ìyẹn ti jáde point blank ó ní kò sẹ́ni tó máa jẹ gọ́fúnà ní state yìí tó jẹ́ ọmọ Christian ǹjẹ́ the same thing là ń rò náà ní sí pé ní Kwara wa ta pè nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nítorí pé fídíò kan jáde gbogbo wa láti máa rí fídíò yẹn mo fẹ́ wò bóyá mo lè inú Ìgbòho-dé ni mo ti rí fídíò yẹn mo á mọ̀ bóyá ó ṣì wà nínú ẹ̀ torí fídíò sì pọ̀ jù fídíò kan jáde tí àwọn kan lọ sílé woman kan tó ń sọ fún woman yẹn pé ibi ìbàyí ló ń pè ní Kwara ní bíbàyí fídíò yẹn gùn gan mo ti rí ẹ jẹ́ n forward ẹ̀ sí ẹ jẹ́ n ṣí WhatsApp mi lórí laptop quickly mo ti rí fídíò tí mo wá yẹn so let's go somewhere there yẹn lọ sínú media. Wọ́n jẹ́ kí woman yẹn kó yé pé ibi ìbàyí ni wọ́n ń pè ní Kwara ibi ìbàyí ò kì í ṣe any other ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Can we now automatically say that we are already being marginalized? Mo fẹ́ fi àwọn ló burúkú ogun máa pa gbogbo yín ni nínú sọ̀rọ̀ Koiki bó bá wù yín kẹ́ fa tẹ̀sùbá látòkè nílẹ̀ kò ní dé bíbà gbogbo ẹnu mo fi sọ torí níta máa bára wa fà òun ṣe nísìn ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Ẹ wá sọ fún wa bóyá ìyẹn ilẹ̀ yẹ Kwara yẹn bí ẹlẹ́ mùsùlùmí ni bí ẹlẹ́ rádúbárà la wà one bastard wicked people all over the place. Mo kàn fi yọ fídíò yẹn jáde nílé play gbogbo ẹ̀tàn torí 10 minutes ni mo lè fẹ́ kó gbogbo time mi pẹ̀lú nonsense yẹn so mo kàn fi mú fídíò yẹn wá so ó ti indicate pé agenda wọn political download kẹ let it close okay ó wà ń bẹ agenda wọn from the beginning náà ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kí Kwara kó wà open and that has been the lies the same way the other state náà but as we speak right now a mọ̀ pé àwọn tó ń pè ní Islamic fundamentalist wọ́n ti kún ní Kwara wọ́n ti àti kẹran mẹ́rò already but tá a bá tètè kúrò ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n máa ní more power sí ni because tá a bá cut wings yẹn látara Nàìjíríà a lè dín pẹ̀lú ra wa kọ́ wá sọ nígbà yẹn pé Christian ò lè di governor nígbà tá a bá gba state yẹn padà tá a wà nínú sovereign nation tiwa wọ́n wá sọ fún wa nígbà yẹn bí a táwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe bá dìde if not wàhálà tó máa bẹ́lẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ iwájú kò ní ṣe kó rárá. Let's play the video kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gbọ́ díẹ̀ ni àwọn ló burúkú wọn ló rìn káàkiri yẹn nísìn fi yọ ọ́díò yẹn jáde one bastard màá fast forward ẹ̀ torí mo ní time láti play gbogbo ẹ̀ bọ́ ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn oníṣẹ́ àwọn gómìnà yìí kówó jẹ wọ́n ń kó àwọn ọmọ wá sí UK rí yẹn sọ sí but already so máa fast forward ẹ̀ àpàṣẹ́wù gbogbo àyè kò sọ̀rọ̀ níbí báyìí wọ́n lọ threaten woman yẹn ni. ọdún yẹn phrase láàrin méjì níbí kan bẹ́ẹ̀.
madam ǹjẹ́ nìkan kan bá yín jà ń bí.
níbo ni ìlú yín ẹ̀dá kò sí lóhùn sàbúrú kankan fún yín.
ẹgbọ́n tó sọ wọ́n ní níbo nílùú wọn nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n ń bi ọmọ Yorùbá pé níbo nílùú ẹ̀ so ṣé ẹ̀ ń sọ fún wa nísìnyí pé Kwara ò kì í ṣe ọmọ kò ń ṣe state mọ́ even as under the fraudulent constitution of Nigeria ìyá ẹ̀ ní right ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ fún ẹ̀yàn ọmọ Yorùbá ten point finger pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Igbo ṣe ti rí wàhálà tẹ́ fẹ́ dálẹ̀ nísìnyí pẹ̀lú situation because àwọn ilé tí ń threaten ọmọ Yorùbá tó wá látàbẹ́kúta ó ń gbé ní Kwara and I keep telling you pé tẹ́ bá ń point finger pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Igbo pé wọ́n lè gbé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àwọn Kwara ti sọ fẹ́yìn náà pé ẹ lè gbé ní Kwara oh my God tí gẹ́ẹ̀tì nǹkan tí mò ń sọ gbogbo tí mò ń sọ fún yín pé àwọn Igbo tó sì ń gbé ní Lagos State tó ń ṣe gbogbo nonsense tó ń ṣe àti tó ń ṣe dáadáa àti tó ń ta fake àti tó fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ wa until tá a bá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà tán la lè deal pẹ̀lú situation yẹn ò ṣe deal pẹ̀lú as it is right now because we are still under the Federal Republic of Nigeria tí ìgbà country tiwa ẹ forget about gbogbo pàbó táwọn èèyàn sọ pé ti gba country kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ pé ti gba country a sì wà nínú sovereignty tó ń pè Nàìjíríà. kí ni ìyàtọ̀ Kwara àti Ìlọrin ọmọ ìyá kan náà kan ní gbogbo wọn ni àti Kwara àti Ìlọrin kí ni ìyàtọ̀ níbo ni Ìlọrin wà kí ni ìyàtọ̀ Ìlọrin àti Kwara níbo ni Ìlọrin wà kan ṣe ní Kwara ló wà ní. So it's the same thing. Àti Ìlọrin àti Kwara kí ni ìyàtọ̀? Èbí Ìlọrin wà ní Kwara ni. Ọwọ́ ń sọ fún ìyá ẹ̀ ni wọ́n béèrè pé bó lòun ti wá. wọ́n ń gbé ẹ máa imagine wọ́n Yorùbá lọ́jọ́ sọ síra wọn kò ẹ mọ̀ kó tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ Ìgbò nísìn àtẹ̀mọ́ sọ pé òkè Ìgbò ló ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ń bá Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ń bí pé bolo ti wá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá àbí ní Nàìjíríà as it is. You can see why we say that Nigeria Titanic tó ti sink ni kò lè gbérí láíláí. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n rìn wọ́n ní ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ díẹ̀ sí i. Ọdí àwọn
ìró wa ń bí báyìí so láti pé kó fi lè mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe pé
ìjà la bá wa ṣe rí pé kò sẹ́ni kankan tó fọ́
ìlọ́lá wá àwa láti nílùú wa.
Wọ́n náà làwọn nílùú àwọn mo mọ̀ bí òṣìtọ́ ni Ìgbò nílùú náà tán ni wọ́n náà làwọn nílùú àwọn wo ẹ̀yin wo so ẹ̀ sọ fún ọmọ Ògùn state nísìnyí pé kò ní right ní Kwara state even under the fraudulent Nigeria tájọ wà nù ẹ̀. Mo kíyàwó Ọlásùnbọ̀ so intent sọ fún wa nísìnyí pé ọmọ Ògùn state kò ní right láti gbé nínú Kwara state láti ṣe ẹbọ tó bá fẹ́ ṣe nítorí pé Ìlọrin ti di Islamic country. You can see that we are already in danger. The longer tá a bá pẹ́ sínú Nigeria, we will not be able to come out from all this mess. I'm going to mute my mic so that kò ní máa interfere. My Allah go roll through, then I'll come back and we come out of this.
Madam, ǹjẹ́ nìkan kan bá yín jà ń bí?
Níbo ni lóyún? Ẹ̀dá kò sí lóhùn sàbúrú kankan fún yín. Àfẹ́ nu mọ́ náà.
Abẹ́òkúta ní Ogun State. Ìyàwó bí ọmọ àgbẹ̀ kó pọ̀ jù ní parí ọmọ bá pọ̀ jù. Òun ni pé etí ara sọ yìí. Ẹ lọ́ mọ̀ pé ìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan ló ní òfin tá ń pè ní customary law lábẹ́ òfin ìjẹ́tẹ́nà kò di tìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan. Abẹ́òkúta ṣe wà wọ́n nísìnyí Abẹ́òkúta ìlú Yorùbá pọ́nbélé ni ìlú òòṣà ni àmọ́ lọ́rin bí ìlú ìsìláàmù ní ìsìláàmù ọ̀faramọ́ kankan mí ìlú tí ọ̀faramọ́ kankan lẹ́yìn.
ṣé ń gbọ́ lórí burúkú ẹ̀ these are born bastard àwọn olùṣọ́ lórí burúkú gbogbo ilà máa dáná sun tó bá tó stage kan ó kù díẹ̀ ni ṣé ẹ̀ ń follow trajectory yẹn nísìnyí pé ìyẹn ni wọ́n ṣe ní jẹ́ kí Christian kankan jẹ gómìnà ní Kwara ní ẹ̀bà ni mo sọ èyí Christian ẹ̀ kàn ń waste time ara yín nínú Kwara state tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá support Yorùbá nation nítorí pé àwọn eléyìí wàá deal pẹ̀lú gbogbo yín and they have the backup of each of the former and the current governor bí Sàràkí ṣe ń back àwọn eléyìí ni governor tó wà níbẹ̀ even though they are two political parties but tó bá ti di ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ̀sìn ti Islam méjèèjì jọ ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀ ni so kò mí pé torí pé APC ló wà níbẹ̀ nísìn PDP ni kò wọlé tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti gbá ó tó gẹ́ wọ́n ti gbá wọn kúrò dynasty tiwọn wọ́n ti yọ kúrò APC ló wà níbẹ̀ nísìn but when it comes to ẹ̀sìn they are operating like the same thing tí El-Rufai ń ṣe ní Kaduna ẹgbọ́n kan tó sọ pé òòṣà ni wọ́n ń ṣe ní Abẹ́òkúta ìsìláàmù làwọn ń ṣe ní Ìlọrin àwọn olóṣèlú lórí burúkú bomb bastard àwọn tá a bá wá wọn lọ wá wọn bọ̀ ó lè má jẹ gbogbo wọn mo lè àníṣe àwọn ọmọ wọn ibibẹ̀ lọ ti wá ń kàwé níbi tí gbogbo nǹkan bẹ níbẹ̀ kí má máa fi gbogbo ẹnu sọ̀rọ̀ torí pé òfin allow ẹ̀ tí bá tẹ̀ sọ́gun ọ̀sẹ̀ as long as tí mo bá ti criticize wọn òfin allow lesbian nílùú yìí ó allow gay nílùú yìí ẹ̀yin ṣe wá ń kọ́ àwọn ọmọ yín wá àwọn ọmọ bàbá wa Kìlìjàpá àti kìnìkan àtàwọn ọmọ Sàràkí ẹ̀yin ò ṣe fà àwọn ọmọ yín sínú Islamic State tó jẹ́ Kwara olórí burúkú yín tẹ̀ wá ń kó wọn wá sí UK láti wá kàwé born bastard ẹ̀yin ò ṣe fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ sínú Kwara State kọ́ máa kàwé ní Kwara ọmọ Sàràkí ṣe wá kàwé ní London bàbá Sàràkí ṣe gbé Sàràkí wá kàwé ní UK nítorí pé kó lè monopolize kó lè marginalize gbogbo ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú tẹ̀ ẹ̀ sọ pé ẹ̀gbẹ́ Yorùbá nation ẹ máa jẹmọ yóò yà tó bá yá wọn máa dín pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yin Christian tẹ́ ń bẹ ní Kwara State tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá jẹ́ ká gba Yorùbá nation ká lè make sure pé a put full stop sí gbogbo nonsense tó fẹ́ erupt that is where they going now láti máa point fingers ọmọ Yorùbá kan pé òṣàkọlẹ̀ yìí ṣe níbì kan mo mọ ibi tó lóṣìṣẹ́ olórí burúkú gbogbo wọn àwọn bomb bastard àwọn ènìyàn ní ṣéwù òṣì kò ní dá fún gbogbo ìmọ̀ sọ pé bomb bastard ní ìlú lòṣì.
so kì í ṣe wáyà bí à ń dọ́wọ́ wú ẹ̀mí lábẹ́ òfin pé.
ó kù díẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ó kù díẹ̀ but ẹ̀yin Christian tẹ́ ẹ̀ support Yorùbá nation mo sọ fún yín pé ẹ̀yin lẹ máa jẹ ìtọ́jú níbẹ̀ bí Nàìjíríà bá ṣì exist pẹ̀lú system tá à ń bá lọ yìí Kwara State ó ti fẹ́ kọ́ta rẹ̀ kúrò pé Islamic country Islam làwọn ń jẹ ní bíbá nítorí pé they are all working in conjunction with the Fulani agenda.
ilé yìí o Ìsìláàmù ní kò sí kankan ní ìtọ́jọ́.
àwọn náà sì ní débi irú ìlú mi káwá máa ní ìtàsí lọ.
àwọn olóṣìwọ̀n nílé ìlú mi gbọ́ Sàràkí olórí burúkú ẹ̀ UK bíbá láwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ti kàwé àtàwọn ọmọ gbòógì àfáà láti rí. àwọn ò ṣe dúró sí Kwara State láti máa kàwé ní Kwara State nílọrin kọ́ máa kọ́ wọn ní kéwú wọ́n ṣe wá sí UK láti wá kàwé nítorí pé wọ́n fẹ́ wá marginalize èyí tó kù tàbá continue Nàìjíríà nítorí pé kí mo ṣe sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ evidence show pé bàbá Sàràkí he was one of the senators in the Second Republic àwọn sọ pé Nàìjíríà ò dáa gbogbo bí àwọn bàbá Akíntóyè sọ pé Nàìjíríà yóò dáa ẹ̀wọ̀n pé bàbá Akíntóyè náà ọba àwọn ṣe ní Second Republic but wọ́n mọ̀ pé gbogbo kí ni is a fraud ẹrù yẹn weight yẹn ìyẹn ní Gbajabiamila the 419 ló ṣe sọ fún yín ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí Gbajabiamila tún sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry except with the help of Almighty Allah.
Ó ṣe jẹ́ except with the Almighty Allah because they are still the same system they are operating the same thing. Nígbà tẹ́lẹ̀ máa gbọ́ owó insurance oníṣọ́ránsì $20,000 kò rí Allah níbẹ̀ l'Amẹ́ríkà ó gbé owó yẹn ó fi wá ṣe politics ní Nàìjíríà kẹ̀rí gbẹ̀gìrì àtàmàlà ni so eventually nígbà tó di pé ó rí owó tán ó padà lọ sí Amẹ́ríkà ó lọ pay off owó yẹn but owó yẹn gangan ló fi wá ṣe stepping stone ìyẹn olórí burúkú tẹ̀ ń rí bàbá tẹ̀ ń rí Gbajabiamila yìí owó olówó ló fi wá ṣe politics ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ní lọ́ọ̀yà ni so ọmọ àpá àwọn incident kan máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ èmi náà ti gba pay off pé tíyàn kan gba mọ́tò mi so ìgbà tó ṣàṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n ní ìtọ́sán fún wa now imagine pé òyìnbó tó ṣe kéèsì mi tó jẹ́ lọ́ọ̀yà tèmi kó wá gbé owó yẹn kó gbé owó yẹn lọ sí ìlú tiẹ̀ tó wà corrupt ó lọ fi ṣe politics yẹn wá gbà fún that is exactly what Gbajabiamila did but ibi tí mò ń lọ gangan ni pé ṣé Kwara State nísìnyí ó ti wá di Islamic State so àgbọ́dọ̀ ṣẹ̀sìn bí níbẹ̀ wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ṣẹbọ níbẹ̀ ní tó ń sọ fún yín nìyẹn wọ́n sọ fún yín pé culture yín pé kẹjù náà tradition wa àfẹ́rí nínú Kwara State mo ní ìjà tó ń bọ̀ lọ́jọ́ iwájú ìjà yẹn máa le gan ẹni máa kú ẹni máa yé ni.
It is evident therefore that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident
that has always been the lies. Mo ń ka àwọn comment òun wọlé díẹ̀ ni Bóyè Mayungba bàbá wa wọ́n ní one man or no man can carry the weight load of Nigeria good and factual. Now let each and everybody carry his own weighty load. Yorùbá lọ gbé lóòdù tiẹ̀ àdé máa mọ̀ pé àwa àtàwọn Muslim àdé máa mọ̀ bí a máa dialogue ní bí a máa jókòó ní bí a máa sọ̀rọ̀ ní bí a máa para wa ní bí a máa whatever is going to be. But tá bá ṣì wà lábẹ́ fraudulent Nigeria àwa ń sọ pé weight yẹn ti pọ̀ jù which is exactly what gbàgbàgbé àwọn máa lo fídíò yẹn nísìnyí mo ti tọ́jú ẹ̀ pamọ́ sí bíbá but ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sọ́dọ̀ àwọn bàbá ẹ̀ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tó tún fẹ́ sọ tán délẹ̀ ó kù 1 minute 57 seconds.
Subhana rabbika.
So what they've done now àwọn olórí burúkú wúlé tẹ́ ẹ̀ ní tán rìn lọ́yìn àwọn olùsì àwọn bọ́ bastard is exactly what the North is telling them to do. Àwọn North gangan ló sọ fún wọn because àwọn North ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ wọn but North ń fún wọn ní direction pé ọ̀nà tẹ́ máa gbà lélẹ́yìí o tẹ́ bá fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹjẹ́ Muslim tó máa recognize ní Saudi Arabia and Saudi Arabia àtàwọn ará àníṣẹ́wọ́ pa odindi èèyàn Khashoggi was killed by the Saudi Arabia government. Bí ẹ̀mí tó ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n pe journalist kan ní Khashoggi Jamal Khashoggi wọ́n pa wọ́n kún bí ẹran bọ̀bọ̀ tẹ̀ ń wò yìí wọ́n pa wọ́n kún bí ẹran Saudi government mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ inú embassy Saudi Arabia lọ pa sí what more can I say? Ìyẹn làwọn kan ṣe máa ń sọ pé yàn mí pé gbogbo Muslim ló bá There's about 1 billion or so Muslims around the world, but àwọn tó wà fanatics is almost the same like Christian tó wà fanatics. The question then is, why are we deceiving ourselves? Saudi Arabia tẹ́ ń copy yìí, àwa ti mọ̀ pé Saudi Arabia wọ́n pa journalist tinú embassy wọn, kí ló lè ṣe? Kí nìkan tó lè ṣe? Even tó bá tẹ̀ criticize the government tí kò agree pẹ̀lú government, does that warrant his death? Khashoggi killed. Turkey lọ pa sí, wọ́n tún wá bò mọ́lẹ̀. Let me just find the video. Only assassination of Jamal Khashoggi. On 2nd of October 2018, Jamal Khashoggi was a Saudi journalist, dissident author, a communist of the Middle East Eye on the Washington Post, and a general manager and editor-chief of Arab News Channel, who was assassinated. Mokiyimomi wa Comfort Ologunja. Eni Oluwaburukola Saraki was Kwara State governor under UPN in the Second Republic. So bàbá wọn náà jẹ́ governor rí. Okay, mo ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Mo tẹ̀sí kàdé bẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. Thank you for that information. Wọ́n assassinated nínú Saudi consulate ní Istanbul ní on the 2nd of October nínú ayé tá à ń gbé yìí. Arab country ní Saudi Arabia. But wọ́n pa ọmọ ìlú wọn, wọ́n assassinated. His body was disembedded. Ọmọ tó ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Díẹ̀ lọ ṣàlàyé fún ẹ tó bá ọmọ tó ń pè ní disembed. Wọ́n gé sí wẹ́wẹ́. Tọ́ba ní
dismembered.
Tọ́ba sọ pé
dismembered.
Tọ́ba ní
dismembered.
A body having had the limbs cut off. Tó bá fẹ́ wo image ẹ̀, wàá máa rí àwọn orí táwọn ọ̀rọ̀ ṣe máa ń ṣàwọn èèyàn. Mo kàn ń ṣọ́ àwọn ilé ìfún ẹni àwọn ọbẹ̀ àwọn tó ti commit oríṣiríṣi crime like that. Kò wá ń ṣe individual ló commit crime tá à ń sọ yìí. Odindi ìlú ló commit crime. What does disembed a body mean? To cut off or disjoin the limbs members of the part, to break up or tear into pieces. Wọ́n pín sí wẹ́wẹ́, mo kí ìyàwó root, mo kí mọ́mí wa Abọ́sẹ̀dé. Since the weight is too much on Nigeria, so let's divide it, let everybody. Ìyẹn là ń sọ fún wọn tán ní ká dákẹ́ o, ká shut up. But èmi kọ́ mo kúkú sọ lánàá. But lánàá nísìnyí, Gbajabiamile, mo kàn fún yín ní reference eléyìí. I think we might find a video nígbà tí bọ̀bọ̀ yìí tó jáde. Wọ́n tún wá pretend pé ó ti jáde kúrò nínú embassy. Ẹ̀wọ̀n wọ́n ṣù ẹ̀ nígbà tó wọlé. But nígbà tó máa jáde, ọ̀tọ̀ nìkan tó ṣù fún wa. Ẹ já wo fídíò yìí.
Jamal Khashoggi and his body still hasn't been found. But this video could throw more light on the sequence of events after he was killed. The pictures appear to show members of the Saudi hit team carrying bags thought to contain his remains into the Saudi Consul General's residence.
Usually these things happen in embassies or Consul General's buildings, but of course they are controllable. They're controllable in that they are Saudi property, Saudi land. The local police can't really do very much about it, and of course they wouldn't have imagined for 1 minute that the Turks were actually listening to what was going on inside.
The Saudi journalist entered the consulate hoping to pick up documents that would allow him to start a new life with his fiancée. He never came out alive. Saudi Arabia blamed his death on rogue agents, but Turkey's president says it was a premeditated murder orchestrated by Riyadh. These pictures only add another layer of complexity to the investigation.
Now we have direct evidence showing members of the killing team unloading body bags or black bags of some sort. So it gives the impression that Jamal Khashoggi's body ended up at the consular's residence. And that's where the investigation should focus now. What happened to him there?
A few weeks after Khashoggi's disappearance, a team of Turkish investigators found traces of acid during a search of the Saudi consul's residence. The office of Turkey's Attorney General has told Al Jazeera that chemicals were used to dispose of Khashoggi's body.
Chemical was used. These are the same set of àwọn tí sọ pé ẹ̀fẹ̀ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. Àwọn criminal tí mo fún wọn ilé nǹkan tó ń pera wọn ní àfáà kan àbí kinní kan. They are the same set of people. wá pa ẹ́ wá kún ẹ́ tó bá dẹ̀ dàárọ̀ wá tún lọ ti Allahu Akbar does not mean that all the Muslims are like that, but we are already in that trajectory tá a bá tètè kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Mo kàn fún yín ní the brief ẹja gbọ́n kan tí Gbajabiamila lè sọ.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah.
Ọlọ́run ó fi kàn lọ́rùn. The weight of Nigeria. So if the weight of Nigeria is too big, no audio, okay? Èèyàn kan ti pè sórí bíbá nìyẹn. Àwọn tó bá ti bá ṣe program anyway no matter máa block àwọn ọmọ nọ́mbà. Ìgbà mo mọ̀ rí sí ìdẹ́bà. Ìgbà tí ó bá ríyàn tó yàn ṣe live, ìgbà ẹlẹ́wọ̀n máa fi ti ibi store. Ẹ lè dúró tá a bá sí ní live kẹ́pẹ́. Ìgbà tá a wà ní live yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ fi disturb. Ìpìlẹ̀ máa gbà. Lè block yín dànù ni. Ìtàgbé dání nígbà kan ṣeré rárá. Lẹ́yìn bá ń ṣeré, èmi ò ṣeré pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. It's all about it's a life and death situation lágbé dání. Ẹ ṣe gan ni fún àti bẹ́ẹ̀ àbá ẹ tí ní fídíò yẹn máa play padà again lẹ́yìn mo ń bọ̀.
And now a new book is revealing more details of the killing.
Now, ǹjẹ́ àwọn Ìlọrin mo kàn tún fẹ́ mú fídíò yẹn jáde padà again bá máa pass forward ẹ bọ́ ṣe ń rìn lọ ẹ ṣe é wù gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ freeze audio yẹn freeze níbí báyìí.
Kí lorúkọ yín?
So interface sọ yìí kò bá jíṣẹ́ tó bá dé.
Mo rí wọn bọ̀ mi mọ̀ pé bí ló ń bọ̀.
Àwa ló kọ gbogbo tí ń jẹ́ lọ́rin òun la fi wà ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ló kọ lọ́la ọba ìlú lọ́rin.
Shehu yasimuka minan nas la takhafu daraka wala takhsha wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah.
Ẹ fi níwà ó ti ń bọ Ọ̀ṣun yìí ó ti ń ṣẹbọ tipẹ́ tó bá ń ṣe ní kọ̀rọ̀ yàrá rẹ̀ tẹ́nìkan ọmọ kò sẹ́ni kankan tí ó mọ̀ sí but èyí tó gbé hàn yìí.
Audio yẹn freeze ní gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn so I'm gonna fast forward it a little bit more. Ó freeze ní gbogbo bẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn mo mọ̀ tó ṣe bí ọ̀fẹ́ yẹ ká gbọ́n nǹkan tẹ́ni yẹn tó ń sọ mẹ́rin náà ló ṣe one bastard.
Madam, ǹjẹ́ nìkan kan bá yín jà ń bí?
Níbo ni ìlú yín? Ẹ̀dá kò sí lóhùn sàbúrú kankan fún yín. Àfẹ́nu mi.
Abẹ́òkúta ní Ogun State. Ìyàwó bí ọ̀nà àgbẹ̀ tó pọ̀ jù ní parí ọ̀rọ̀ náà bá pọ̀ jù. Òun ni pé etí ara sọ yìí ẹ lọ́ mọ̀ pé ìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan ló ní òfin tá ń pè ní customary law lábẹ́ òfin ìjẹ́tẹ́nà kò di tìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan. Abẹ́òkúta ṣe wà wọ́n nísìnyí Abẹ́òkúta ìlú Yorùbá pọ́nbélé ni ìlú òòṣà ni àmọ́ lọ́rin bí ìlú ìsìláàmù ní ìsìláàmù ọ̀faramọ́ nǹkankan mí ìlú tí ọ̀faramọ́ nǹkankan mí lẹ́yìn ìsìláàmù sọ̀rọ̀ ti yé nísìnyí so kìí ṣe pé báyà bí à ń dọ́wọ́ wú ń bẹ lábẹ́ òfin pé nílẹ̀ yìí o ìsìláàmù ní kò sí nǹkankan mí tó jọ.
àwọn náà sì ní débi irú ìlú mi káwá máa ní ìta àṣẹ lọ ní wàá bá wa sí.
káwá lọ dúró ní Ọ̀ṣun káwá ẹsẹ̀ káwá mọ̀ àní ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀.
subahana rabbika.
And let's come back. So I'm going to move swiftly away. Mutipwini, how Saudi Arabia assassinated one of their own citizens. And that is exactly about that. Now, let's come back again to the dynasty of the Saraki. The Second Nigerian Republic. Now, at the idea with the last governor, Itokoko Je, lẹ́yìn yẹn Saraki, lẹ́yìn Abdulfatai, ìtò wà lọ́wọ́ nísìn, they are all Muslims. So chances pé Kristẹni kankan máa jẹ gómìnà kò likely ní Kwara State, so ẹ forget it. Because that is the game tó ń gbá Muslim ní Muslim ticket bíi Tinubu àti Shettima. Now let's talk about the Second Nigerian Republic. The Second Nigerian Republic was a brief formation of the Nigerian state, which succeeded the military government formed after the overthrow of the First Republic. Ìwọ tó bá understand tá à ń pè ní First Republic. First Republic yẹn ni èyí tí wọ́n fún wa nígbà tí a ṣe independent. Okay? Kó tó di pé wọ́n overthrown that particular First Republic. Wọ́n destroy it. So tó bá ń gbọ́ First Republic, mo kí Mr. Pa, Dere, mo kí ẹ, mo kí ìyàwó mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin Alex Mamu, mo kí Baba Odunsi, Oluwaseyi, mo kí ń sà. But few people can enjoy the wealth of Nigeria. Òun náà là ń sọ yìí. Kódà, n tí mo rí nípa Sàràkí nígbà tó ń declare asset ẹ̀ kò ń ṣe nǹkan kékeré rárá. Níbo ló ti rí owó yẹn tó bá ń ṣe pé bàbá ẹ̀ náà ti jẹun nínú Nàìjíríà? They've all turned Nigeria as a cash app in Nigeria. This article was put together by Premium Times. Premium Times. Ó jáde ní October 2015. Exclusive inside the 10 billion naira asset Saraki declared as a governor. No, iṣẹ́ wo ni Saraki ń ṣe? Business wo ló dá sílẹ̀? Ilé-iṣẹ́ wo ló ní tó fi ní 10 billion naira as of 2015? Oh, ṣé medical tó ṣe náà ní UK náà ló fún lówó tó yẹn ni? I'll find out in the long run of this broadcast, hopefully. Now, the background, contesting, and I hope you can all read it here, our 150, so it's very good. Contested election and political turbulence in the Western region ended Nigeria First Republic. Tó bá ń gbọ́ awo, tó ń gbọ́ awo, àwọn tó ṣe First Republic nìyẹn. Àwọn Awólọ́wọ̀, àwọn ló ṣe wàhálà pẹ̀lú àwọn Azikiwe àti Tafawa Balewa gbogbo wọn. Mo fẹ́ lọ gbé méjì wọn wá lẹ́yìn mi ni. Àwọn ni wọ́n ṣe First Republic. But First Republic yẹn wọ́n dàrú mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́. Báwọn kan bá ní àwọn Ìgbò mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀, èmi á máa sọ pé àwọn òyìnbó gan bákẹ̀. Because wọ́n ever expected pé kí Nàìjíríà kò ṣiṣẹ́ anyway. Because everybody always point the finger pé ilẹ̀ Ìgbò ló destroy that First Republic. But ǹjẹ́ a lè sọ pé àwọn ló destroy it without the help of the British government as at that time? Ìlú àlọ́jọ́ kódà wọ́n ní Wellington Hospital ní Buhari ti ń tọ́jú ara ẹ̀ dead or alive. Bí wọ́n fi announce nǹkan míì tó máa fi jẹ́ the end of that Buhari, only God knows. But according to information tí Sahara sọ, Wellington Hospital ló ti ń tọ́jú sí bàbá. À ń padà bọ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn later. Ó dẹ̀ kí Jimoh ní last week Friday. Àmọ́ bí ó tún bọ̀ ní Friday yìí láti wá kírun, nobody knows. After the First Republic in 1966, with the overthrow of the government by the majors of the Nigerian army, a unitary style of government was subsequently decreed into law. After a counter coup 6 months later, the country was drawn into a civil war between the federal forces supported by the British government against the Biafra forces. And I'll just back that up with Dr. Ugo. Ẹ má bínú pé a gbọ́dọ̀ máa join àwọn fídíò kankan mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ó lè bá yé wa dáadáa náà ni torí pé ẹlòmíì kò tẹ̀ gbọ́ rí. Ẹlòmíì ò mọ̀ pé a ní kankan tó ń pè ní First Republic. Ó ní bá ṣe gba government, and that government started with this guy. Òun fún wa ní a little bit of insight around it. Ẹ jẹ́ àgbọn tí the late Harold Smith tó sọ.
Hello. And Mrs. Carol Smith, welcome to the program.
Thank you. May I say how delighted we are to be on Passion. We've looked forward to speaking to an African television station for decades.
Mo kí Prophet Ogundele ẹ káàbọ̀ sà.
Forward to for such a long time, and we are so happy to be here.
Thank you. Mr. Harold Smith was a young, bright, and principled Oxford University graduate who was recruited by the Colonial Office and posted to Nigeria. He took his final examination a year ahead of his class. He also married Mrs. Carol Smith, whom he met while they were both at Oxford University. Together they went to Nigeria where they...
Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí wọ́n sọ, ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, Oxford University, he took his exam 1 year ahead àwọn ẹgbẹ́ kẹ́lẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ẹni tó ní knowledge tó pọ̀ ni arákùnrin tẹ̀ ń rí ẹni tó ní ìmọ̀ tó pọ̀ tọ́nà fún ni kò ń ṣe àwa nìkan náà la ní àwọn tó brilliant no àwọn náà láwọn tó brilliant láàrin wọn as at that time òun brilliant débi pé he took his own final imagine he took his own final exam before his colleagues ìyẹn máa tẹ̀ ń wò yìí ìyẹn Aaron Smith bí a ò gbọ́ bẹ̀ yẹn gẹ̀rin wáìnì díẹ̀ kò kọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Television station for decades. This is something we have looked forward to for such a long time, and we are so happy to be here.
Thank you. Mr. Aaron Smith was a young, bright, and principled Oxford University graduate who was recruited by the Colonial Office and posted to Nigeria. He took his final examination a year ahead of his class. He also married Mrs. Carol Smith, whom he met while they were both at Oxford University. Together they went to Nigeria, where they had their 2 children. Mr. Aaron Smith, you were featured in a program recently by BBC Radio 4,
yes.
Titled Document,
yes.
And that was hosted by Mr. Mike Thompson.
Yes.
You are alleged that the British government rigged the first and most important election in the history of Nigeria in 1959 in favor of the North. Am I correct?
Yes.
How long were you in Nigeria for?
From 1955 to 1960. And we were based in Lagos. I was on the staff of the Department of Labour. I was largely occupied with employment problems, all the employment exchanges, and statistics, and international reports, and was kept pretty busy. I was also stationed in Lagos in charge of the capital and the port. I was the port labour officer as well, and I also devised a port labour scheme and later a social security scheme, which was one of the first in Africa, which guaranteed workers some income after they'd finished work. It was a providence scheme, as I say, it was called the National Providence Scheme, and I was very proud to have put that on the statute book.
I was going to ask you what your role is. You've mentioned 3 important. Is there any particular name given to your office while you were there?
Just labour officer.
I was a labour officer, a senior civil servant.
Okay.
I only intended to stay in Lagos initially for 2 tours of duty. Although, because of this conflict with the elections, there were difficulties. Actually, government wouldn't let me leave the civil service. They were determined that I should stay in the civil service after my 2 tours. And I was offered very considerable incentives, including a knighthood, to stay and work for government. Primarily this was because I had access to state secrets. I learned, and the Governor-General himself confirmed this to me, that the elections were rigged, contrived. The intention was that the North should rule Nigeria. Even in '56, the northern leaders were very proud and were saying, if they couldn't run Nigeria, never mind elections, they might not join Nigeria, they might leave. And we all thought, well, how would they survive? There were no ends.
Mo fẹ́ tún mú weight tí Gbajabiamila ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Wọ́n ti rí weight yẹn kò ń ṣe lénìí, but it's because ambition ni Tinubu pé ó fẹ́ di president, pé kókò di president, hopefully tó bá di president á lè ní power, bí a tó bá ní power á lè change weight yẹn, nobody knows yet, but etí Gbajabiamila sọ mo kàn fi buttress ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan tí Aaron Smith ń sọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight of Nigeria. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him.
Impediment to Yoruba development. Is the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia. And today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. And there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension. If you don't...
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president.
They drink, they fornicate, they do all the things that all human beings do. So it's not a question of religion. There's no question of anybody being truly a Muslim there. You know, even I knew a chief judge who was supposed to be leading Muslim prayers, who anytime he came to me in my official residence, he would put brandy or whiskey in a mug and be drinking, and they will smoke and all that. So I don't think it's religion. When they started this Sharia, how many of them are obeying the Sharia? How many of them? No, not none of their leaders. So it's not religion per se, but they use religion to deceive people and say Hausas were not Muslims at all. So they say, well, let's give you a superior religion, we'll give you Islam. But that didn't apply to the South, because we've had Muslims in Yoruba land even before 14th century.
So truly what we are fighting against, or what is going on, is clash of culture.
And civilizations.
And civilizations.
That's right.
Not really the Fulani versus the Igbo, or the Fulani versus the Yoruba.
No.
It's clash of civilizations.
Yes, clash of civilizations and clash of cultures. Yes, you're right.
That means we have not really integrated as a people.
Never. We have never been.
So the word the Nigerian people is a fallacy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Because, again, in those days, you will say, there have always been Igbo markets, Hausa markets in Enugu. There have always been Sabos in Shagamu. But those...
Now, mo fẹ́ padà sí ibi tá a ti ń bá bọ̀. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tí Chief Tọ́ládé ní ìsọlọ. But it now seems that is changing. Because à ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé Fúlàní. But within us, gangan sef, a ti ní Fúlàní láàrin wa. It's because it was tolerated. Mayo fèsì Aerosmith, because we're not playing all those videos, but on touch there. Because if we remain in that contraction, wait yẹn, wọ́n máa gbélé wa lórí, wọ́n dẹ̀ máa fi Allah, tí Allah bá tán, wọ́n á mú Jésù wá, torí pé for now, Allah ni wọ́n sì ń lò torí pé president yẹn Allah ni. Bíyá tí ó bá tún padà sí north, okay, Allah náà ló tún máa jẹ́, torí pé tó bá padà sí north after tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán, kò ń ṣe pé Christian ló máa gbé fún, wọ́n ò lè jẹ́ kí Christian kankan tún jẹ president Nàìjíríà tó bá máa fi di pé Tinubu bá ṣe tán. Hausa náà ló máa ṣe, Fúlàní, Raza anyway. but kò ní wá tún wá jẹ́ Fúlàní Kristẹni, Fúlàní Mùsùlùmí ló máa jẹ́, torí pé by the time tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán tí Gbajabiamila sọ pé the weight of Nigeria Allah máa bá Tinubu gbé ní kálà má bàa gbé kálà bá gbé dáadáa, kálà bá gbé kó bá drop owó ìwálẹ̀ kó tẹ̀ sí app kó tẹ̀ di 500 kó má tún lọ sókè mọ́ à ń bẹ̀ ni, kó bá wa sọ fún Tinubu ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn lè kúrò, kó bá wa sọ fún Tinubu pé 1,000 naira owó Nàìjíríà nísìn tó ń di £1 kó bá wa háfẹ̀ kó tó di pé ó máa lọ. Àbẹ́ kó gòkè sí ni bò kó já wálẹ̀, bò kò lè já wálẹ̀ nítorí pé kí ni after tó destroy the second republic táǹkà lọ́lẹ̀ nǹkan wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí form different states. After a counter coup 6 months later, the country was drawn into a civil war. Kí ló fa civil war yẹn? Nítorí pé àwọn Biafra ní àwọn ò ṣe mọ́ pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà, àjọṣepọ̀ àwọn àti Nàìjíríà yìí kò lè dán mọ́rán. Wọ́n náà ṣe mọ́, wọ́n ní the union tó kó wa papọ̀, ìfẹ́ tó kó wa papọ̀ kò sí níbẹ̀. Wọ́n wá náà fẹ́ dá dúró, but wọ́n ò lè lọ nítorí pé kí ni ẹja àgbọn tí Dr. Ugu tó fi educate wa díẹ̀.
They wanted to be separate from the country that the British Empire had imposed on us, which was this country of Nigeria, where they kind of took a bunch of independent nations who don't have anything to do with each other, don't even speak each other's language, don't relate. Many of them were even enemies and warring at the time.
Mr. Clement, Oṣegan ní káàbọ̀ sórí ètò mú kí Mr. Park. Wọ́n pé ẹ̀ ń fọ́lọ̀ bí ṣe ń gbé kíní ẹ̀ síra wọn torí pé kó lè bá yé wa dáadáa. Already nísìn, yes, a ní àṣẹ Nàìjíríà mú. Gbọ́ pé àìtí kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, àwọn Mùsùlùmí kan ti ń threaten wa nínú Nàìjíríà láti máa jẹ́ kó yé wa pé Kwara o Ìsìlámù làwa ń ṣe níbí báyìí o. Ìtọ́ba dẹ̀ ń ṣe níbẹ̀ lẹ́ máa bá wọn ṣe torí kíni. Even the law of Nigeria does not allow that. But ẹgbọ́n tí Dr. Ugu sọ́nbẹ̀ yẹn, Dr. Ugu ni even these people that you put together, they don't speak same language, they don't love each other. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ díẹ̀ sí ní kò tó sọ.
Smush them all together and drew these arbitrary lines.
Wọ́n kọ̀ smush gbogbo wa sínú bọ́dà yìí. Lẹ́mi ẹ jẹ́ ń gbé bọ́dà yẹn wá sí tòsí báyìí. Wọ́n kọ̀ ṣe kí ni? Wọ́n kọ̀ smush every one of us. It does not matter whether you love it. Wọ́n kọ̀ smush every one of us. But she smush one year, and they changed the narrative. And in January 1st, 1914, bọ̀bọ̀ kan wà tó ń pè ní Lugard, òun bá change it. But ní 1967, nígbà ń kà lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan nínú ìtàn, ní 1966 rather, àwọn Biafra náà wọ́n ṣe mọ́. Wọ́n ní no, ṣe mọ́. So what happened? After counter coup, 6 months later, nígbà tó ti dá First Republic, wọ́n ti dànù sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. The First Republic was destroyed. Whether by Igbo, whether by the West, whether by whoever it was, it does not make any difference. But something led to something that destroyed it. Then the civil war between the federal government. Kò ń ṣe federal government ní Biafra ń bá jà. Ẹ̀yin rò pé federal government là ń bá jà nísìn. No. We are not fighting the federal government. What we are fighting for now is a survivor to the fittest. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ yára lògùn gbè ló máa ń sọ. We are fighting a war tí kò ń ṣe pé agbébọn dání, but we want to survive because our language, our identity, àwọn ará Kwara ti ń sọ fún wa nísìnyí pé identity yẹn ò kí ń ṣe Yorùbá o. Lótìtọ́ gbogbo àjọ ń sọ Yorùbá ni identity bíbá Ìsìlámù ni wọ́n ń pè é. Èmi ò wá mọ̀gbà tí Ìsìlámù dé Ìlọrin o. Tó fi wá ń sọ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ti ń bẹ before Islam ká gbà yẹn sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Ẹja àgbọn tí Dr. Ugu sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí as he's giving us a narrative. Àwọn wo ló inject war yẹn? Àwọn wo ló back in Nigerian government? Ǹjẹ́ wọ́n máa back in Nigerian government again as everybody is now asking for the right to self-determination? Òun ló easy láti sọ, but negotiation, diplomacy, àbí eléyìí tí wọ́n sọ pé wait yẹn bí a kà tún gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Bí èmi mo gbọ́ nǹkan tó ń sọ dáadáa, ẹja àgbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
The weight of Nigeria. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight.
So weight yẹn náà ló affect Nigeria láti 1960 because wọ́n ti gbé ẹrù yẹn lé gbogbo wa lórí. But in tó ṣe nígbà ni pé wọ́n make it easy olúkàlùkù lọ develop region ẹ̀ so that weight yẹn á lè wà relieved á lè jẹ́ pé kólúkàlùkù ṣe tó bá fẹ́ ṣe but àwa máa ṣe nǹkan kan sí center eventually that was destroyed wọ́n ò jẹ́ kí yẹn kó gbérí but ní state kan tá à ń pè ní Kwara state àwọn sì wọ́n sì manipulate wa náà ni wọ́n sì marginalize wa even though pé Yorùbá sí Yorùbá ni wá but ẹja agbọ́n tí Fẹ́mi Gbàjàbíàmọ́ olè tó sọ tó jí $20,000 tó fi ṣe politics tó wá ń sọ nísìnyí pé wéètì yìí tí táwọn rí ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn ló wà ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì nísìn kò ń ṣe Buhari ló wà níbẹ̀ because nígbà tí Buhari wà níbẹ̀ ìwọ̀nba náà lòun náà lè rí òun náà ti wá rí pé wéètì táwọn máa ń ròyìn kọ́ ló máa wà bẹ́ẹ̀ because oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ti lock Nigeria together I am telling you ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ̀ ti ta gbogbo Nigeria kan sẹ̀ gbogbo tó ń pè Nàìjíríà ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀kọ́ ti ta èyí táwa ṣe ń sẹ́kùn yẹn 1914 ti expire bóyá wọ́n ti renew ẹ̀gbọ́n tá a mọ̀ ń kọ́ tó bá ti renew ẹ̀ tá a mọ̀ ń kọ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n tí Gbàjàbíàmọ́ nígbà tó kírun tán ọmọ òní fọ ẹ̀gbọ́n tó sọ $20,000 ó ní $20,000 òun ló fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ politics ó ti wá jẹun ó ti yó sókè nísìn ó wá ń pe Allah kan náà ti Saudi Arabia assassinate Khashoggi ní Turkey òun náà tún pe Allah náà Allah táwọn ará Ìlọrin sọ fún ọmọ Yorùbá pé ibo ni wọ́n ti wá ó ní Abẹ́òkúta Ìlọrin là ń pe bíbà ẹ máa pe Allah ẹ máa fi deceive ara yín born bastard.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident therefore that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying.
Mombo, ẹja padà sí Dr. Ugo.
And call them countries and name those countries.
Right.
And then said, now y'all get along and do a country for us. And
we cannot get along because the weight was just too much to be bearing that federal. When it was even republic. Eastern Republic, Western Republic, Northern Republic, it was still manageable. But even though everybody was squashed together, and just go and get along. Go get along. If you don't like the Igbo, that's your problem. Just get along. If you don't like the Muslim in Yoruba land, just get along. If you don't like the Hausa, just go and get along. As long as you can get along, there is no problem.
And then go through, contentious, bloody independence processes that never really yield any real independence.
It never yielded any real independence. What it actually gave us was just go and vote, okay? As long as everybody's vote, and you bring in Saraki, let Saraki be your governor. And Saraki was the governor because his father stole so much to release to Saraki. So what was the dynasty yẹn lé Saraki lọ́rùn? Ìwọ náà control Kwara. Jẹ́ káwa náà control bíbà yìí. Máa fún àwọn apọ́ lóúnjẹ, máa fún wọn lómi mu. Tó bá ti ń fún wọn, àwọn á máa ṣàdúrà fún ẹ, àwọn á máa rí ṣe. But eventually, they lost out. The government of Saraki lost out to their own side. Because Saraki ṣe ní 2000 and mo try láti fast forward a little bit. I didn't send that, so Ocean show. Yeah, let me send that. Yeah, call it your map here, Kuro. So Saraki was the governor from 29th of May 2003 títí di May 29, 2011. So he actually did 2 terms. Ọdún mẹ́jọ lòun náà ṣe. Nínú ọdún mẹ́jọ yẹn, bọ́jẹ̀tì lọ nínú ẹ̀, wọ́n kówó jẹ nínú ẹ̀. Gbogbo ohun tó yẹ kó ṣe irọ́ náà ni. So owó ẹ̀ máa pọ̀ sí iye tó náà wọ́n ní because in tó yé wa ni pé Saraki declare the worth of 10 billion naira asset. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kàdé ẹ̀. The president of the Nigerian Senate, Bukola Saraki, currently facing corruption charges, was worth 10 billion by the current exchange rate at the time he assumed office as the governor of Kwara State. Ìyẹn tó ní mẹ́rìndínlógún local government. Ìyẹn mi kò ṣe anything. Now, let's go further. While his entire asset, including cash, landing properties, and shares in Nigeria and abroad. Kò mí pé Sàràkí dá lè iṣẹ́ kankan sí Kwara State tó ń generate owó fún, but a máa wá ní gbogbo ìgbà a wá kó rẹ̀ sì fún yín àwọn arúgbó wa máa ṣàdúrà definitely kí lè arúgbó máa ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀. Arúgbó tẹ́bí ń pa kí lè rò pé arúgbó máa ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀. Arúgbó máa ṣàdúrà fún ni náà because arúgbó expect pé ó yẹ kó fún òun lóúnjẹ, but Sàràkí ló máa ní kó lọ donate oúnjẹ yẹn fún. Bó ṣe ṣe ọdún nísìn ó lè ní kó ra ẹran 300 pieces kò cost wọn anything, kò tí ì ná penny nínú owó ẹ̀, but àwọn ti gbọ́n. Sàràkí lọ invest owó ẹ̀ síta, ó ra shares kékèké sínú Nàìjíríà, but ẹ bá wa béèrè pé business wo ni Sàràkí dá sílẹ̀ bí àmọ́ òdẹ̀mọ́ ní ẹ̀yìn ọmọ Kwara State ẹ bá ń sọ business wo ni Sàràkí dá sílẹ̀ ìyẹn nílùú Kwara State tèmi ò wà wẹ̀ so that ká lè reference sí iléeṣẹ́ wo ló dá sílẹ̀ ní Kwara State. Ara àwọn Kwara náà lélẹ́yìn olórí burúkú bombasta bàbá burúkú yìí olùṣe ẹlẹ́nu wùwùwù yìí olè ìyẹn tó ń pè ní Lai Muhammed, àmọ́ ó ti dákẹ́ nísìn. Tó bá ti ṣe tó wọ́n máa dákẹ́ because wọ́n máa tún mú fọ́dà wọ́n wá kó ọmọ tẹ́lẹ̀ nísìn náà ọmọ ẹ̀ wà ní Lagos State tó ń ṣe House of Rep ìyẹn Lai Muhammed ọmọ ẹ̀ is one of the House of Reps ní Lagos State. Ìyẹn ọ̀dẹ̀ dúró sí Kwara nítorí pé ó fẹ́ Lagos State, ó ti gbé ní Lagos State, ó lè ní wọ́n bí òun sí Lagos State, kò wá lọ contest ní Kwara, ó jókòó sí Lagos State under APC. Ìwọ wá ń sọ pé Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́, èmi wá ń bi ẹ́ pé lọ́nà wo ló fẹ́ gbà ṣiṣẹ́ because we are now àwa làwa ń bọ́ àwọn people yìí wọ́n wá ti wá di èèyàn sí wa lọ́rùn, wọ́n ti di gègé sí wa lọ́rùn. Ìyẹn ni Gbajabiamila lè ṣe sọ fún wa pé the weight of Nigeria àwọn weight tẹ́ ń sọ yìí. Let's go further. Saraki has landed properties and shares in Nigeria. Ó ní shares ní àní iléeṣẹ́ wo ló dá sílẹ̀ ìyẹn ọmọ Kwara ẹ jáde síbi ẹ wá sọ fún mi iléeṣẹ́ wo ni Saraki dá sílẹ̀ fún yín ní Kwara State. Ìwọ tó ń bú wa pé òfẹ́ Yorùbá nation ó dà òfẹ́ Saraki ó kà ti agree sọ fún wa ibi tó dá iléeṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ó ń employ nothing less than 1,000 people ní Kwara State. I'm sure you will never see that. Also ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà lówó díẹ̀, ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà ní gbogbo tí Saraki ní owó ti 8 billion naira. Ìyàwó ẹ̀ tá a máa ṣe múkẹ́múkẹ́ òun náà sì fẹ́ jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ òun náà bí ìyàwó Tinubu náà ni òun náà sì fẹ́ jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ òun náà wá ṣe president, but àmọ́ bó ṣe máa work torí pé Saraki sì takú sí PDP. Kò bí pé PDP máa exist between now and then. Tó bá exist gbogbo bẹ́tì mo lè fi sí wọ́n ní gbé fún Saraki kó wá jẹ gọ́fún kó wá jẹ president, wọ́n lè wò ó ṣe fún gọ́fún ní vice president ìyẹn ní 2027 tó bá tún máa ṣe another election. That is if the party is still in existence. So àwa di pé àwa là ń bọ́ gbogbo àwọn pípù yìí akọ̀ ó wá di pé ẹ wọlé and now àwọn tó bá wá lówó tó tó yìí how do you want to compete with them? Kò possible. Mo kí Mr. Adebanjo Sunday. Ìyàwó Saraki fúnra rẹ̀ wọ́n ti 1.8 billion tó bá ní kó lọ fi 50 million naira fi ṣọdún fún wọn ní Kwara State kò tí ì ná penny nínú owó ẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ Saraki náà ní owó to the tune of 200 million naira. Máa bú èmi o wọ́n máa lè tó wà ń lé. Àwọn ọmọ Saraki wọ́n náà wọ́n ti 202 million naira. Owó yẹn wá máa pọ̀ sí torí pé olówó náà máa fẹ́ kówó yẹn kó pọ̀ sí ni. These are all contained èmi kọ́ mo sọ nínú asset declaration form àti affidavit Mr. Saraki disposed to before an Ilorin High Court. Ilorin High Court yẹn nísìn tàbá ní ká lọ wò nísìn I'm sure pé kò ní air condition kò ní system tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ and these are the same people tí wọ́n support nonsense and jagbajantis ẹ wo Ilorin High Court. I'm sure pé tàbá béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn staff bẹ̀ nísìn pé ìjẹ́ wọ́n ti sanwó oṣù yìí I am very sure they've not paid them. This is even looking at the building I can tell you that it's dilapidated because kò ń ṣe standard because images yẹn show dáadáa High Court of Justice of Ilorin ó jẹ́ kó wà in bright and bold and I can prove that ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ̀ wo Supreme Court or High Court in London ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa níbí báyìí High Court London ká kọ̀ fi compare that image kó lè ní understand nǹkan tí mò ń sọ sórí bó ṣe rí sórí pé nígbà tí mo gbé sí High Court sórí bó ṣe jáde tán the Royal High Court sórí pé eléyìí tí kọ alámì àbí kankan sí orí kíní tiẹ̀ jẹ́ lọ mú mi wá. I just want to show you without any ẹ jẹ́ ká wo eléyìí. Now, can you see the difference in tí mo try láti gbé jáde òun dà? Image yẹn dà sí ẹ ti sá lọ ó dà pọ̀ lélẹ̀ advert ṣe pọ̀ báyìí bẹ́ẹ̀ mú ó dà pọ̀ lélẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe lè. Okay, now ìwọ náà wo building yẹn bó ṣe rí ó hold lóòótọ́ bọ̀ wá rí pé ó ṣì wà much more better than eléyìí ti Saraki. Ìlọrin lélẹ̀ Justice Hasan Gegele of Kwara State High Court sitting in Ilorin State Capital on the Friday ordered the sack of all the 16 Transition Implementation Committee chairman across the 16 local government mẹ́rìndínlógún. This was 2 years ago. Àní kò sí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì sẹ́ nígbà tó bá ní kó yọ gbogbo transition normally kò sí kankan tó yẹ kó jẹ́ Transition Implementation Committee ó yẹ kó jẹ́ the chairman. Àwọn ló yẹ kó máa control yín àwọn ló yẹ kó máa tọ́jú yín but unfortunately àwọn Saraki ti sọ́ọ̀kì yín gbẹ. They are dynasty yẹn dẹ̀ ti ń bọ̀ bá ti ṣe gbọ́ látọ̀dọ̀ bàbá ẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká continue there lórí Second Republic a tún máa padà sọ́dọ̀ Saraki. After tí ogun bẹ́lẹ̀ pẹ̀lú federal government àwọn Britain wọ́n contain ẹ̀ wọ́n kó ammunition tó pọ̀ wọ́n kó fún Nigerian government pé tó bá jẹ́ kó pa gbogbo wọn dànù ni kó pa wọ́n dànù wọ́n wá pa wọ́n títí olórí burúkú eléyìí wá ń sọ fún wa pé it is just a little ẹ̀rọ ti bàbá burúkú yẹn mo fẹ́ mú fídíò jáde ní kíni bíi bọ̀trẹ́sì ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ òun wá jáde nígbà tó fẹ́ ṣe inauguration Bọ́lá Tinubu ìyẹn ní Àbújá bàbá wèrè tí kò ní kú síbi táṣù ẹ̀ wà ó wá jáde ó ní ní tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà yẹn kí ló and then so what ó ṣẹlẹ̀ náà ni torí pé kí ni àwa la ní àwọn Ìgbò wọ́n lọ sí anywhere bọ́fẹ́ bọ́kọ̀ gbogbo o normally tó bá yẹ pé èèyàn ní sound engineer á ti mọ fídíò tí wọ́n fi sọ òun ló máa kọ slot ẹ̀ fún yàn ni but èmi ni mo máa fúnra mi so sometimes because we have so many videos on the software so I have to take my time to find èyí tí mo fẹ́ play fún yín láti eléyìí wá ní ẹ ṣe sùúrù kíni a defeat wọn ní 1966 or 1967 or whatever but àwọn kan ló defeat Biafra British government ló defeat wọn no kàn play Dr. Uku tọ́délẹ̀ ni it is the British government ló fún Nigerian government ní weapon láti pa 5 million ó lè wá sọ pé it's just a little ẹ̀gbọ́n tó sọ.
As far as I'm concerned, yes, I'm satisfied we are still existing as a united nation after that little fragment.
Ó pé odindi ẹ̀mí tó pa 5 million people in the southeast were massacred, killed. Ọmọ kékeré, ẹni tó lóyún, ẹni tó lóyún, ẹni tó ṣẹ̀ bí, ẹni tó ti dàgbà, arúgbó. Gowon wá ní is just a little fracas. Ó ní a little fracas ni. Àwọn tó pa ní tí Adolf Hitler pa títí dọ̀la wọ́n gbé ní little fracas. Only is just a little fracas. Only little fracas. And then so what? A little fracas now. And we must continue to exist. Tó mọ̀ bá sí láyé, ẹ̀dá gbọ́ ètò kùtù sọ.
Thank God we've made it to 6 years. Yes.
Òun náà tún lọ lọ́hùn. Ẹ mọ̀ pé Kìrìsìtẹ́nì lòun. Ó ní ẹ mọ̀ pé tó bá jẹ́ pé Mùsùlùmí lòun náà. Òun náà ní ẹ̀yà. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Mùsùlùmí lòun náà. Bóun náà ṣe máa sọ lélẹ̀. Ó yẹ ẹgbọ́n tẹ́lẹ̀ náà sọ.
The weight of Nigeria. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except.
Ó ní kíni, màá tún play padà fún yín. Ẹ mọ̀ pé Gowon is a Christian. Òun ní thank God, God, God. But Gbajabiamile, òun lo Allah. The weight of Nigeria. The weight of Nigeria. Ẹja gbọ́n tó sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
The weight of Nigeria. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president.
Because that is the gimmick. That is the gimmick. In tó ń gbé bọ̀ nìyẹn o. So ìwọ Muslim ní sí, o ní láti pariwo, kò máa bẹ Ọlọ́run, máa fa tẹ̀sùbá, kò gbé Kùránì, kò lélẹ̀, èmi náà nílé, ìlú olùsì, one bastard. Ìwọ náà gbé Kùránì o, kò máa ka Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ kí Tinubu kó dàgbà síbẹ̀, Kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ kó rówó Nàìjíríà kó mú wálẹ̀, àwọn olòṣì, òfin pé àdúrà ló máa gbówó Nàìjíríà wálẹ̀. A country tó ti sink, tó ti wà nínú ta, ó ti wà lábẹ́ omi. Ìwọ wá ń sọ fún Ọlọ́run, ó ń pe Ọlọ́run Allah, just the same way tó lórí burúkú Gowon tó náà sọ pé little fracas ló ṣẹlẹ̀ náà kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ tá àríró ẹ̀rí ṣé ọ̀dọ̀ wa nìkan ló ti máa kọ́kọ́ ja ogun ni. That is what he's telling us. Ó tún wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ kò tí sọ̀rọ̀ tán Gowon ò tí sọ̀rọ̀ tán ó ní and then say what little fracas ṣẹlẹ̀ ó ní but God òun náà lo God ó fi God ó fi kọ́ wa lọ́rùn the same way táwọn GO yóò fi sọ̀rọ̀ tó fi dákẹ́ lọ́lọ́lọ́lọ́lọ́ tí gbogbo ẹbí bàjẹ́ wọ́n tún ti dákẹ́ nísìn nítorí pé Tinubu ló wà níbẹ̀. So Tinubu dẹ̀ ti lọ sọ fún wọn pé ẹ máa sọ fún Ọlọ́run ni o ẹ sọ fún Ọlọ́run ẹ sọ fún Ọlọ́run Ọlọ́run ni kẹ́ pé o Ọlọ́run ni kẹ́ máa Ọlọ́run ni o ẹ má pè kankan o Ọlọ́run ẹ bá wa pè Ọlọ́run ẹ bá wa pè Ọlọ́run ó yá.
This is 2021. Some people are already getting ready to kill themselves over 2023. And they don't even know whether there will be 2023. They don't even know if there is 2023, whether they will still be around. There's nobody here who can say for sure that we will still be around.
Daddy, around me say.
Almighty God, we are suffering. Have mercy. Enough is enough. Oh. Almighty God, hey, please have mercy. Ṣàánú, Ọlọ́run yanu ṣàánú. Àjẹ̀bí, àríbì kankan sásí, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jọ̀ọ́, nítorí orúkọ Jésù Kristi, ẹ ṣàánú fún wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ara àánú gbà, ẹ ṣàánú orílẹ̀-èdè wa.
Ẹ máa pè wọlé láìpẹ́ yìí. Ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tí bàbá náà sọ, dádì wa jí o, mo kí dáadáa. Ẹ mọ̀ pé nítorí pé àwọn jẹ́ Christian, àwọn náà sọ fọ́lọ́run, ìtàwọn náà sọ náà ni Gbàjàbíàmílà náà sọ nísìnyí Gbàjàbíàmólè, mo kíyà tó bíbí lọ́mọ. Ìtí dádì jí o ń sọ, kí ló yàtọ̀ sí ti Gbàjàbíàmólè náà sọ? It's the same thing. Òun kàn ń sọ tiẹ̀ from the point of Muslim way. Àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe àti ìrà àwọn yẹn kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀. And the question then is, are we sure pé Ọlọ́run tí gbogbo yín pè yìí, ìjẹ́ àní máa question Ọlọ́run fún ara rẹ̀ pé Ọlọ́run àwọn tó ń pè é yìí pé the weight of Nigeria, ṣé Ọlọ́run ló gbé weight lé wa lórí ni? Ọlọ́run kọ́ ló gbé weight lé wa lórí. Àwọn èèyàn ló gbé weight lé wa lórí. Àwọn wo? Àwọn Britain ló gbé weight yẹn lé wa lórí, and they are still mo fẹ́ gbé èmi wọlé pẹ̀lú tí mo ṣe ìlọrin o. The weight of Nigeria kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí weight yẹn òun lélẹ̀ ó yá báwa sọ tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí weight yẹn ó yá.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident.
Ṣàánú ẹbí wa, ẹ ṣàánú ìjọ Ọlọ́run, ẹ ṣàánú wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan Olódùmarè, ẹ ṣàánú o, ẹ ṣàánú o, Ọlọ́run ìyanu ẹ ṣàánú o, ẹ sọ òkùnkùn wa dì mọ́lẹ̀, Ọlọ́run ìyanu, ìnira yìí ti pọ̀ jù, olùdáǹdè ẹ ṣàánú, ẹ foríjì wá. It's not the way that any normal ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident therefore that the Almighty Allah is with our president.
He is carrying the weight for him.
Àwa ló jẹ̀bi o, àwa ló jẹ̀bi o, Olódùmarè á jẹ̀bi.
The weight of
Àwa
Nigeria
la múnú yín
is
dùn.
not the weight that
Ó ní
any
wàhálà
normal
fi dé.
ordinary human being can carry.
Dípò ká ká
As far as I'm concerned, yes, I'm satisfied we are still existing as a united nation after that little fracas. Thank God we've made it to 6 years, and I hope we'll make another 6 years. I may not be here, but that is my belief.
And that is the belief of Gowon. To about exactly 3 hours, I'll open the phone line. So let me quickly sweep forward. I still want to go back again to KWARA State. So Saraki, Abubakar, Bukola Saraki, wọ́n bí òun náà ní 2 years after independence of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, December 19, 1962 ni wọ́n bí. Is a Nigerian politician who served as the 13th president of the Nigerian Senate from 2015 to 2019. He previously served as the governor of KWARA State from 2003 to 2011. He was elected to the Senate in 2011 under the People's Democratic Party, representing KWARA Central Senatorial District. He was re-elected in 2015 general election under the party of the All Progressive Congress. Nígbà tí gbogbo wọn join papọ̀. He left the ruling party, APC, and returned to his former party, People's Democratic Party, bí aṣẹ́wó náà ni, where he became the opposition leader on 31st July 2018. Saraki declared his presidential campaign for the PDP presidential ticket in 2019, but lost the primaries to Atiku Abubakar. He was subsequently announced as the Director General of the Mochimamameri Mukele Muke Egbomishegun. Muke Shubi Arowolo Muke gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìyá wa, ẹ̀yin bàbá wa. Now, tí mo fẹ́ fàyọ níbẹ̀, is well read. Saraki was born in 1962 ní London, British passport wà lọ́wọ́ ìbòjì jókòó yẹn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín. To his mother, Florence Morenike Saraki, and his father, Olúṣọlá Saraki, ẹ jẹ́ padà sórí bàbá ẹ̀ náà díẹ̀. Abubakar Olúṣọlá Saraki, wọ́n bí òun ní 1933, ó kú ní 14th of November 2012, was also a Nigerian politician who was a senator. Eléyìí gangan mo prepare tẹ́lẹ̀ this particular page. Ní Nigerian Second Republic, mo ti ka díẹ̀ fún yín nípa Second Republic yẹn, à ń kà lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Ẹ jẹ́ à close eléyìí so that mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ nípa Ayọ̀délé Awójọbí, mo kọ ka story wọn díẹ̀ ni. I don't want this to cut out. So ẹ jẹ́ kí n close eléyìí. So à ń ka Saraki lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí. Bàbá Saraki fúnra rẹ̀ náà, èèyàn tí ó wà nínú politics ni. He was the holder of the chieftaincy title of the Waziri of Ilorin Emirate and belonged to the Agoro compound in Agbaji. Background: Olúṣọlá Saraki was born on the 17th of May 1993 at KWARA State. He died in Lagos on the 14th of November. Nítorí pé kò gbé ní KWARA mọ́, ó ti sá kúrò ní KWARA State torí KWARA wà developed. So gbogbo wọn ò lè gbé ní KWARA. Tó bá ti jẹun sókè, wá sá wá sí Lagos State àbí kó sún sí London. His mother was from Ìsẹ́yìn in Ọ̀yọ́ State. His father was from Mali. Èwo la tún gbé jáde ìkẹ́. So bàbá ti Olúṣọlá Saraki kò tẹ̀ tún ṣe ọmọ Nàìjíríà, is from Mali. I can see reason why we are in problem. But study Islamic study, Ilé Kéwú in Ìlọrin. His paternal ancestor were Fulani who came from Mali about 150 to 200 years earlier. Ó tẹ̀tí dá. Very good. Ṣé rí pé history very eléyìí tó wá da gan sẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ túbọ̀ yẹn kà fún yín. Saraki is half Fulani and Yorùbá. Ẹ wá ní kélé ṣe agenda Yorùbá fún yín. You must be joking. So that is I'm joking here now. So I fẹ́ kó, so I want to play and pay Yorùbá nation. Ẹ wá expect Saraki náà kó support. we are all joking. Ọlọ́run fún wa ní Yorùbá nation gbà, but a ṣe a lot of iṣẹ́ because wọ́n ti penetrate wa, wọ́n ti wọlé sí wa lára. Owó tó ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ Sàràkí tó lè fi destabilize the system tá à ń ṣe gan sẹ̀, who knows? Ẹ jẹ́ túbọ̀ yẹn kà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Background di bàbá wọn ni mò ń kà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí. Olúṣọlá Sàràkí was born on the 17th of May 1993, ìyẹn bàbá Sàràkí ní Kwara State. Ó kú sí Lagos ní on the 14th of November 2012. His mother was from Ìsẹ́yìn tí a mọ̀ sí Ọ̀yọ́ State, but bàbá Sàràkí, èyí kò ń ṣe Sàràkí tó wà láyé o, èyí tó bí bàbá tiẹ̀ ọmọ Mali ni. But ó wá study Islamic study, ilé kéwú ní Ìlọrin ni. His paternal ancestors were Fulanis who came from Mali about 150 to 200 years earlier. Olúṣọlá Sàràkí ìyẹn wọ́n wá educate òun ní Lagos State ní Èkó Boys High School. He also attended the University of London and then went to St. George Hospital Medical School, London. He worked as a medical officer at the General Hospital Lagos and the Creek Hospital in Lagos. Olúṣọlá Sàràkí came into politics when he contested in 1964, 4 years after tagba democracy, that's wà nínú First Republic, tó tó di pé wọ́n destroy it, as a parliamentary election for Ìlọrin, as a election for Ìlọrin as an independent, but lost. After the election, he returned to his medical practice in Lagos State. Only returned to party politics in 1978-79. Olúṣọlá Sàràkí died on Wednesday, 14th of November 2002 in Lagos State at the age of 79 after losing a battle with cancer. He was laid rest to Ìlọrin, ó kú sí Lagos, wọ́n gbé padà wá sí Ìlọrin. Now we can see why we are in a big, deep shit. Senatorial career. In 1977, Olúṣọlá Sàràkí was elected as the member of the Constituent Assembly that produced the 1979 Constitution. In 1979, he was elected a senator of the Second Republic and became a Senate leader. In 1983, Sàràkí was re-elected into the Senate under the National Party of Nigeria, NPN. And I think NPN yẹn kọ́ ló fẹ́ súnmọ́ àwọn North. He can't, and the will of the people is mightier than Sàràkí pocket. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, mo kí bàbá ìyá wa Ìdífìlà. We are in a big mess. Let me open the phone line briefly. The number is the same for those of you that would like to add your one or two. Actually, one more day to consider that we need to squeeze gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ́nu. We still have one more day before the end of KWARA State, and then I will move to Kogi State, the next state. I'm sorry, lórí Ọlọ́run kó fún mi ṣe, kó fún wa ní knowledge, kó fún wa ní ìmọ̀, tá máa fi gbé kalẹ̀, tó máa fi yé àwọn èèyàn wa. And like I always say, we are all going to do as much work. Plus 44 74 04 40 5917. Òun ni nọ́mbà tẹ́ máa pè sí. Let's do it quickly and let's go swiftly into it. And once again, let's take the first caller. Hello, caller. How are you?
Yeah, I want to ask a question. I don't know. Got the question will be understand for very long. Can Yoruba on its own, ṣé àwa Yorùbá a lè dá kíní ṣe ká break? Then ṣé Biafra ṣé ó lè dá ìjàgbara ṣe tí wọ́n break? Àbí combination àwọn méjèèjì pọ̀ ni ó dáa jù? Àbí olùkàlùkù jà lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀? Mo béèrè question bí a kẹ́lẹ̀.
Put it out. I want you to go. So we see how people are going to react to that. Let's wait and see. Ìbéèrè tẹ́ béèrè ni pé ṣé a lè dá ṣe àbí in combination of Biafra àti Yorùbá, if I am right.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ṣé ẹ̀yin ń rò pé dáadáa kí Yorùbá dá jà tiẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀ kí Biafra àwọn Igbo kan dá jà tiwọn lọ́tọ̀ ṣé yẹn ló dáa ní àbí kájọ sowọ́pọ̀ kájọ dàpọ̀ àbí break.
Okay, we will respond to that and hopefully we'll get somebody to know. Yeah, Mungo. Yeah.
The reason why that is a motive àwọn program kan ní àwọn other platform ló jẹ́ wípé bí àwọn ọmọ Igbo tó bá ní problem pẹ̀lú ọ̀rẹ́ bóyá Lagos state government ìwé yìí tí ó jẹ́jẹ́ wípé Nàìjíríà làwọn bílíìfì lórí àwọn ìjọba tó wà ní Lagos state nìkan kan ṣe tó tọ́mọ Igbo bá wá ní problem pẹ̀lú ìjọba Lagos state àmúra àwọn èèyàn wa tó máa jáde tí wọ́n máa condemn ọmọ Biafra méjì ní problem yìí ṣé à ń gbèjà àwọn Sanwó-Olú abẹ́ àti Tinubu abẹ́ gbèjà ni àbí torí kò tí ń pọ̀ ní fún confusion tí ń bá èmi lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ṣé ìjọba àwọn Sanwó-Olú ni abẹ́ gbèjà ni àbí ká combine pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ọmọ Biafra kájọ gba kíní pọ̀ torí èmi ò mọ gbọ́ àìsí àwọn Yorùbá media wọ́n tún máa bú Biafra tí àwọn ọmọ Biafra ní Lagos governor bá ní problem. So mo tún wà wọ́n pé ṣé Yorùbá nation ni àwọn ẹni ń jà fún ni àbí ìjọba Nàìjíríà lè ń jà fún. Kí ló kàn wá kan tí Igbo àti Sanwó-Olú bá ní problem kọjọ máa ní ìṣèbí kó fi rúgbó náà ló dà ń fẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹbí lè wọ́ọ̀kì. So why that one máa kọ́ sí iye that one máa jáde fún Biafra fáwọn ọmọ Igbo pé kí ni problem wọn kọ́ dúró kọ́ máa gbé problem wọn wá sí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá o ṣé à ń gbèjà Sanwó-Olú ni. Torí òye mi ni o òye mi mọ lè ní tó o gbọ́dọ̀ ní o ti ń kọ́ ní fẹ́mi ṣé Nàìjíríà la fẹ́ tó ẹgbẹ́ Nàìjíríà la fẹ́ tó ṣìkà fún wọ́n ẹgbẹ́ Nàìjíríà ẹ má wulẹ̀ gbà confusion sílẹ̀ mọ́. Ẹ ṣe ẹkúṣẹ́ náà.
Ẹ ṣe gan ni. Bàbá mi ọ ti béèrè bí a máa rẹ́ni tó máa dá wa lóhùn. Ẹ ṣe gan ni Prophet Ogundele wọ́n ní Northern Party ní NPN. Ẹ ṣe gan ni. Ẹ má bínú pé screen tí ó kọ̀ wá bẹ́yẹn for now. But à ń gbọ́ yín ẹni tó ń pè wá torí a gbọ́dọ̀ charge àwọn Dubai tàbí ṣe. Ẹ bá mute background yẹn ẹ jọ. Ìtẹ́ tó fi ń gbọ́ wá nulẹ̀ yẹn ẹ bá mute yẹn pátápátá ẹ ti wà lórí láìpẹ́. À ń gbọ́ yín sáà. Ọjọ́ kan bọ́ọ̀lù sáà.
Èmi náà tún dé láti Pittsburgh.
Ẹ̀gbọ́n ààrẹ.
Èèyàn tó pè láti wọlé ti ṣe.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Mo lè pápá láì kí ẹgbẹ́ nìkan bá ti ṣàkíyèsí. In the first place, a gbọ́dọ̀ mọ àwọn Igbo. Tàbá nílò tó ìbílẹ̀ pé kò ní ọ̀gá láti sọ́kẹ́ dára tó wọ́pọ̀. Ṣé wà wẹ́ẹ́ bá sọ ìlú pẹ̀lú because one. Without this country to the country, they don't need to compare with anybody. I'm not one. People don't go to one country to another country. And the fact that even the that Igbos are represented to the believe that Yoruba hate them. People that is people that have, I live there, I'm not discuss on Facebook. The best thing for you is to get yourself out of it and continue to live with the civil war propaganda. Tí wọ́n gbé nígbà tí wọ́n try to cohabit with your Yoruba neighbors till today. I'm not going to let us even take a very organize look at the answer. I was one person to organize the answers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Why did we tell our people to say, hey, Ewa, Answers in law, the first the next time I think all that I want for what? Lagos is Yoruba, that's our pride. In fact, the biggest investment on Yoruba land in here. We beat Lagos.
Line on cut in and out, so we are finding it difficult to grab the message. Mo bí abitẹ wà níbi network ni ó ń lọ in and out, so kò clear dada because mo get ibi tẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ pé ntí mo fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé do we make even though pàṣẹ wà ní Nigeria we still have to make sure we protect what is our own regardless of whether we are not yet out. Regardless, which is what I think about getting, but then try to portray out pé but the line your own in and out. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, so we gotta protect what belongs to us, regardless of whether you are in Nigeria. No, I thought she protect it because definitely. But since that team over tí ẹ máa bọ́ sí kó má di pé wọ́n máa overrun wa délẹ̀ tán so ká protect the interest yẹn náà as we are still in Nigeria and now that tati ní center tẹ́ pé Yorùbá ní center so gbogbo tó bá tẹ̀ ń ṣe gọ́sẹ̀ tí Yorùbá tẹ̀ ń sọ pé no center yẹn máa sọ fún ẹ pé kọ́ sí lọ ṣe sùúrù bó ṣe rí náà nìyẹn àwa náà marginalize wọn náà nìyẹn. Okay. All right. Yeah. And I think mo gbọ́ sir. Yeah. Yeah, definitely there's no way tí ọkọ ẹni tó bá stupid ló máa ní òun ò ní di politician tó máa dá sọ̀rọ̀ táwọn àlẹ́ yìí. We must put pressure on them because ara diplomacy ni ara negotiation ni ara consultation ni so we might not literally agree with everything they are doing and that's why we are putting it out now pé gbàdàbí àbílà ìtẹ́mi kan fi put the house ní pé àwọn náà ti rí ní sí pé wait yẹn pọ̀ and that is why I have said it ẹ tó bá ti gbọ́ ní tí mo ti sọ pé Tinubu is the last card fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá fáwọn tó ń ṣe politics tó o bá ṣe tí ó yẹ kó ṣe tán I don't know what can happen only God knows I don't know because èmi ò ríran but we just hope that while he's still there àwọn tá à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation a lè dúró pé torí ó wà níbẹ̀ but àwọn tí wọ́n ṣe Yorùbá nation àwọn náà gbọ́dọ̀ protect the interest Yorùbá tí bá mo gbọ́ ìsà. Okay, yeah. Láìní yẹn mo mọ bí tí láti wá wà láìní yẹn mo àríyí gbádùn kọ́ ní dáadáa so ìdí mo kàn fẹ́ fàyọ̀ mbẹ̀ ni pé I think what we need to understand number one kò ń ṣe gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní Lagos State ní Biafra I think we are making that mistake that's number one they are Igbos àti mọ̀ yẹn bí wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe nítorí pé Lagos táwa ń rí yẹn ṣe mọ̀ pé the same thing is happening in the north àwọn náà marginalize wa lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn náà but kò sí media kankan tó ń protect jáde bó nítorí pé inú Lagos nìkan yẹn ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ news yẹn tètè jáde number one àwa fúnra wa gan máa sọ táwọn ò bá sọ because àwa la ní media gbogbo èèyàn ló mọ̀ yẹn Yorùbá ló ní media but in táwọn náà fi marginalize wa ní south east ẹ mọ̀ pé àgbọ̀ Soludo dẹ̀ sọ fún wa pé tí Lagos ò bá tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn ẹ máa padà bọ̀ nílé kájọ build ilẹ̀ Igbo yìí why do you want to stay in Lagos but in táwọn èèyàn kàn sọ ni pé based on àwa tá a jọ ń jàjàgbara kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú pé a lè ní alliance but I think the message tó kàn tó wà conflict ni pé àwọn kan sọ pé yẹn pé wọ́n náà máa ṣe land kinní kan yes ó dáa àwọn kan nínú kò dáa náà nítorí pé àjọ ń jàjàgbara kan náà ni and the last caller kan sọ pé if everything máa rúgbó it's gonna start from somewhere but wọ́n ò ní torí Lagos wá fi fágbọn torí pé Lagos kan ló ba Nàìjíríà jù. so kò sí nǹkan tó lè ṣe pé kọ́ wá sọ pé torí pé nǹkan tí Lagos ṣe nísìn àmọ́ wá forí Lagos fagbọn náà ìyẹn ò ní work ìyẹn ò gbọdọ̀ work.
Several Igbo people who were saying what we target àwọn ni. All of you go back to your state. Go back tell us you don't close your state. Give about what the content they push.
Ọ̀dà. Láìní wọn break gan mọ ọmọ bíi tí dáàdi wà bí a fẹ́ wọ train ni ṣé New York lẹ́wà dáàdi torí láìní ẹ máa ní láti kó wá padà láìní ẹ ó bad gan mo struggle láti catch the grabs of some of what you're saying bí a bí tẹ wà ní ẹ má bínú I gotta let you go so that Caliber call me. The line is still open. It is an open mic. We can disagree and agree. Number one, there is no way ta fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation. We need as many engine. But engine tá máa need engine tó máa disturb wa engine tó fẹ́ compromise wa fáwọn tó máa sọ pé tó ráwọn la because you know Saraki anything I don't see Saraki as somebody that is going to support the Yoruba nation based on internet kalade ní South Africa lọ́sùn rather but in tí mistake táwọn kan assume ni pé Tinubu ti débẹ̀ mí sìn ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá ń ṣe Yoruba nation yẹn kí lẹ tún fẹ́ ẹ lọ sinmi ẹ̀dọ̀jàre ẹ yé disturb wa and we are saying that lè stop because Gbajabiamila gan ti sọ lánàá nísìnyí nígbà tó kírun tó pé wéètì yìí ó tóbi ju ẹrù Tinubu lọ so tí wéètì yẹn bá tóbi ju ẹrù Tinubu lọ definitely tí Tinubu bá ṣe 8 years àbí 4 years ẹ̀ tán ẹ kàn sọ fún wa pé ká má bínú just as bí Buhari náà ṣe sọ fún wa because Buhari came back out ó ní Nigeria is very difficult to rule ó wà London nísìnyí ó ń sinmi dead or alive bí ó ní dementia ni bí ó ń bá àìsàn ni ṣé òun ni ṣe rí pé ìgbà tí mo ń ṣe program níjọ Sunday tí mo ní Tinubu máa wá sí London ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín nísìn ṣe rí picture Tinubu àti Buhari kí ni arrangement tó sì jọ ń ṣe papọ̀ torí kò tí ì yé mi kí ló sì ń wà láàárín àwọn méjèèjì torí èmi ò expect pé kí Tinubu máa ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Buhari mọ́ torí olórí burúkú ni Buhari roko sọ́dọ̀ ààrẹ as a Fulani style ẹ̀ ló kọ́ làwọn ẹgbẹ́ òsókè ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò sáà.
Àwa nìyẹn nǹkan tí èmi kàn rí tèmi kàn fẹ́ sọ nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa tó jẹ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá dó a ti sùn adẹ̀ tí mo bá bí tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n eléyìí kàn máa wá aṣọ ti tiẹ̀ tó wá aṣọ ti tiẹ̀ adẹ̀ tí wò ó bí tí gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ náà ti ẹ̀ ń lọ́gán kò tiẹ̀ yé èèyàn.
Ok ẹni sùúrù ká tó mú further journalist lèmi iṣẹ́ tèmi kí n interrogate yín ẹni ẹ ti rò títí ọ̀rọ̀ náà kò wá súyàn àbí kó súyàn àbí kí ni tí bá gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ dáadáa ẹni ó ti pé kò yéèyàn èwo ni kò yéèyàn ẹ jẹ́ ká nà níbẹ̀ èwo ni kò yé yín níbẹ̀ torí mo fẹ́ ní nǹkan kan mo fẹ́ yọ nínú nǹkan tẹ́ fi sọ yẹn ni èwo ni kò yé yín níbẹ̀.
Ẹ̀rí nígbà kan àwa yìí á tiẹ̀ ti ní gbogbo tí bàbá wa Sunday Igboho tó ṣe wà ní Nàìjíríà a ti jáde ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ lóríṣiríṣi but àwọn program tí n tún ṣe lódà ìpò tún ṣe ń fún wa ní enlightenment díẹ̀díẹ̀ tá a tún ṣe ń ní o. Because gbogbo ẹ̀ tí ẹ ṣe ń rí kò wá understand yẹ.
Ok na ẹni sùn bẹ́ẹ̀ kí n máa ṣàlàyé fún yín ṣe rí èyí tẹ́ máa ń sọ pé kò yé yín how long ni wọ́n ti ń rán ní Nàìjíríà nísìn tẹ́yìn mọ̀ tó bá bí pé how old ní Nàìjíríà tó bá bí how long ní Nàìjíríà ti fi exist kí lẹ máa sọ.
Over 60 years ago.
Okay now ẹ má ṣe analysis kankan ẹ nílà ẹni sùúrù ẹ ti fún mi ní point ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn kó lè yé wa àwọn èèyàn ń gbọ́ wa. This platform is not a rap-based platform. Ẹ bá ń wá rowdy platform ẹ lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn media the other one. Àfẹ́jọ communicate ni. Torí into òye yín yẹn nísìnyí mo fẹ́ kó yé yín kẹ́lòmínà lè grab the message. Ẹ ní sùúrù àbárawájà. Now ẹ ti fún mi ní 60 years. Nígbà wo la padà sí democracy tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí?
Since 1999, everybody knows that.
How many years? Atimon, how many years roughly? Ẹ bá mọ̀.
That's 24 years ago now.
Now, how long láti ń ṣe Yorùbá nation?
That's since 2017.
No, kò lè jẹ́ 2017, 2019.
2019, yeah.
So, àṣà sọ pé 3 years.
Yes.
So tí wọ́n bá sọ fún yín nísìnyí pé Yorùbá nation yóò ti wáyé tọkọ sọ fún yín pé Yorùbá nation yóò ti wáyé nísìnyí ǹjẹ́ tá bá gbé wéètì ibi tí 1999 ti ń bọ̀ àti 3 years èwo lẹ́rù púpọ̀ jù nínú méjèèjì.
Wẹ́ ibi tí Nàìjíríà ti ń bọ̀ ló pọ̀ jù. Àjẹtí rí pé Nàìjíríà ò tiẹ̀ ẹ má tiẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ pa Nàìjíríà.
So ẹni sùúrù ẹ̀yin lẹ mọ́rọ̀ wá because a gbọ́dọ̀ sí analysis ẹ̀ jì máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ìdí tí mo ṣe fẹ́ fàyọ ni pé ká bá yọ nínú 24 years ẹjẹ́ a yọ 3 years kúrò nínú ẹ̀. That means pé 20 years sì wà tí wọ́n ti fi deceive àwọn èèyàn wa. Ibi tí mo fẹ́ lò gangan nìyẹn. So for the fact that bá ń sọ pé kò yẹ yín ẹ ó ti sún yín. Number one, Saraki nígbà tó fẹ́ declare asset ẹ̀ ó ní 10 billion naira. Àwọn àgbàtà fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation àtẹ̀ ní 10 pounds. Ìyẹn kan. Mẹ́sẹ̀gì tá à ń pàṣẹ yìí nísìn torí èyí ní data ni àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹni tó ní data ní sí ò lè gbọ́. But nínú Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n ti ń fi rédíò station rọ́ tó ń parọ́ fún yín for 24 years wọ́n ti parọ́ àwọn aṣèwà ń tẹ̀ láti dissect irọ́ yẹn. So ẹ wá expect pé ẹ yọ equation ẹ̀ tabanika divide 20 by 3 or 24 by 3 ẹ wo equation tó máa jáde nínú ẹ̀. So for the fact that ẹ bá sọ pé kò yé yín mọ́ ó ti sún yẹn is a lie. It's because expectation gbogbo èèyàn ni pé kí Yorùbá country ti wáyé which is my own expectation as well. But the fact that we have too many bottlenecks Nàìjíríà tó bí Nàìjíríà ò kì í ṣe abúlé kan tá a fẹ́ gbà. A dẹ̀ sọ pé àfẹ́jà tábàdẹ̀ nípa àníjà then that means say a máa lọ ní ètò létò tó máa fi débi tá a fẹ́ lọ ní. It's as simple as that. Nígbà tẹ́mi sọ̀rọ̀ ní 2 years ago mo ní kíní àwọn máa dàrú ní ó máa di gbàǹsìgbò ó máa di woro sí woro àwọn kan ní kò lè débẹ̀ torí pé àfẹ́ ogun ọmọ Yorùbá. So
àwọn táwọn wà nílé àmọ́ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà.
Yes.
A rí oríṣiríṣi gbogbo àwọn ìgbìyànjú tá a ti gbìyànjú.
Yes.
A rí pé àwọn pípì kan kà wá wọ́n lé wa pa.
Ẹni sùúrù the same thing náà.
Àwa sì ń fọ́ lórí.
Èwú náà ni mo sọ ẹni sùúrù bàbá ẹni sùúrù tí bá ti ní kẹ́ni sùúrù tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ti ní ẹni sùúrù. It's not listening. We are not going to go anywhere because it's not listening. Ẹnikẹ́ni sùúrù kájọ sọ̀rọ̀ kájọ yẹra wa ti bí Yorùbá lájọ sọ àjọsọ Ìgbò. Ẹnikẹ́ni sùúrù you are just going on and on. Mo ń sọ fún yín pé Nàìjíríà tí a fẹ́ gbà yẹn ó ní more power tó ń lò lé wa lórí. So definitely ọ̀rọ̀ reality ni gbogbo yẹn minor ni we are dealing with a big problem. Kwara state ni mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí láti more than a week nísìn. Kwara is 16 local government. And that 16 local government ó difficult láti break through ní nǹkan tí wọ́n ti operate for 24 years. Ẹ̀rẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ràn ẹ̀kan sọ̀rọ̀ lọ ní. Mo pè láyìn ní ti clear ní sí torí kò clear rárá lẹ́ǹkan àdẹ̀fẹ́ gbóyè. Ẹ bá mute background ẹ̀ tún gbọ́ra yín lẹ́ǹkan sí again. Ẹ pa yìí tẹ fi ń gbọ́ mi nínú ilé. Mo ń gbọ́ yín sà.
Bàbá àtàwọn àti iṣẹ́ ṣáì pé àgbẹ̀rò ìdè ẹ̀ka yóò fún bá advancement nínú àwọn 419 tó wá dà fún. After watching and listening to the program Yorùbá World Media lánàá in fact I was so elated so gbádùn. Gbígbẹ́ ló ṣe tó wá jẹ́ pé wọ́n lè try láti sọ ní 2022 pé about that year that was true. But unfortunately, the devil came in, in the form of that 419 woman, and then who did that? I won't follow. Well, let me go back to the issue of whether we should comply with Biafra or not. Like I said, ní gbígbọ́n gbogbo àwọn bàbá ló mọ bí àwọn kìíní ṣe like the province that when countries are asking for countries oníkálukú ló ní bá jáde bá ìjọba ní country wa we know what we want to we don't need to combine with anybody. Yes, both struggle can be going side by side. Wọ́n dẹ̀ lè compliment ìlà wọn where ìyẹn tí àwọn tá à ń béèrè kìíní ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ìbára nínú bá ní pé kò pé kájọ wà jọ papọ̀ complimentary on anything. But for me, we should still be doing our things separately. If there's any way they need help, come approach one, we can from the background and do, render our own help to them. But we shouldn't make it make it open to another things like as if we are combining together. Because one, we have a problem that part of our combined together. One may have a problem to affect the other. Meanwhile, no possible to all of what is it to us. We must move. The whole thing, what we feel, your forward is but one come back along people in time of people, what the international bodies, them terrorists. Let them terrorists.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So all of these, so we have to be very, very careful. You do this every day, where you kept the hope alive, you kept the dream alive. And you do anything. For me, you woman, you watch your own, you get up and I give them.
I said,
You only pay to Salary for one, Salary for one.
I said, ẹja tó fẹ́ lómi láàyè torí àsìkò náà ni ẹ má bínú ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá mi ẹ bá ń kí àwọn grandson yín àtàwọn ọmọ yín mo ti rí fine girl tó wájú mi ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ bá ń kí thank you so much àwọn tá à ń torí ẹ̀ ṣe wàhálà náà nìyẹn mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí i mo fẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ kó yé gbogbo wa dáadáa ṣe rí tẹ bá pè wọlé tá a bá ní kẹ ní sùúrù mo lè fún ẹ ní 10 minutes mo lè fún ẹ ní 20 minutes but tẹ bá tún ní kẹ ní sùúrù then àti sọ di ẹbí wà tájọ ń fa nǹkan mọ́ra wa lọ́wọ́ understanding mo ń try láti ṣàlàyé fún last caller yẹn pé kó má dàgbà pé mo kàn disconnected ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ pé a fẹ́ lọ a ti wà on the right trajectory a ti wà on the right move but a ti mọ̀ pé àwọn kan náà pé wọ́n fẹ́ stop movement yẹn it's not even about ọ̀rọ̀ woman tó dé yẹn nìkan there are so many hindrances tó ń hang Nigeria powerful gan and a country tó ti operate for 63 years a country tó ti run democracy táwọn kan ti jẹ nínú ẹ̀ tí a dẹ̀ ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé ọ̀pìtà bá jáde now ó máa yá àwọn èèyàn díẹ̀díẹ̀ nítorí pé mo ń bá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi expectation ni pé Tinubu fẹ́ débẹ̀ Tinubu dẹ̀ ti débẹ̀ nísìnyí it's fine so now èyí lè máa ṣe máa sọ fún wa nítorí pé ọmọ Tinubu tó wà níbẹ̀ nísìnyí ó wọ òkè ẹ jẹ́ ká fi Nàìjíríà ká tu wà níbẹ̀ ọkọ̀ wọ òkè gbogbo yẹn within the kó má fi di by end of this year ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rí díẹ̀díẹ̀ kò tí ní mínísítà ẹ jẹ́ kó tẹ̀sí appoint mínísítà nù gbogbo ètò sì ń ṣe preambles sí ni èyí ló pọ́ṣù kan tí Tinubu dé power ẹgbọ́n sókè ẹgbọ́n mi ní kíákíá à ń gbọ́ ìsà.
mo kí mr gòkè kú analyst wọn tẹ̀ ṣe gbẹdà gbádùn ṣe ti pé Yorùbá ti mọ̀ sí wípé Kwara yẹn àṣẹ ti túnṣe pẹ̀lú history tẹ̀ kà wọ́n ṣe pé Baba Sadi is from Mali ẹ ti pẹ́ níbo tí wọ́n ti àgéèsì àwọn àṣà wa ní ẹ̀lì ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kẹ́mọ̀ pọ̀ ọmọ Fúlàní ló kún bẹ̀ gbogbo tó sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n máa ń jọ ẹ̀rọ ogun dáadáa mo sọ́jọ́ ẹ̀ pé Fúlàní gbogbo wọn tẹ̀ wò yìí they are not Yorùbá 100% ẹ̀rọ ọmọ ìgbẹ́ tó jẹ́ ọmọ ọkọ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ 100% Yorùbá kò bá jẹ́ Christian kò bá jẹ́ onígbàgbọ́ kò bá jẹ́ ìmọ̀lẹ́ni bàbá mi wọn ò lè gẹ̀ẹ́sì ìṣẹ̀ṣe láyé wọ́n mọ̀ pé ìṣẹ̀ṣe gangan ló fi tẹ̀lú èdò òkè kí ló fà á sí for 63 years tó ti bá bàtú kúrò àmúra lẹ́pẹ́ òkè Mr. Toki kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sọ báyìí àdéhùn àti yín sìn àfẹ́ṣe business àfẹ́ṣe business ẹ̀ kó rí kó stand kẹ́nìkan máa kó sí wa nínú à ń láti make covenant ká búra díẹ̀ bàbá tá a bá ti búra ká lo kókó búra tó máa jẹ́ authentic ẹ̀bẹ̀ nípa àwọn fẹ́rẹ̀ kí ni ẹ̀ business ẹ̀ máa fọ́ because a máa jẹ arẹ́sẹ̀ láǹsì ni tí máa parọ́ ẹ̀ jáde. mi nípa fún yín ṣé rí ìkọ́ tó kọ́ tó máa ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀tẹ̀ mi o èmi Olúwaṣẹ́gun Sunday Adébánjọ pé kí ló gba Nàìjíríà jẹ Bible àti Quran ni because kí ló fi ń búra fún láti 1960 up to date dápò òṣìṣẹ́ ni bàbá mi Nàìjíríà ní bẹ́ẹ̀ rí ẹ̀ o tí máa parọ́ ẹ̀ jáde sà brother mi.
mo gbádùn yẹn gbọ́n mi.
káni mo ti kiri yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́gbẹ́ mo sọ pé o bẹ́ẹ̀ di sílẹ̀ o I want to become a governor o tí má ṣe kan báyìí aráàlú ló máa lọ ẹrú ló jẹ́ fáwa wọ́n ti dẹ̀ máa lọ́wọ́ ni everywhere in the world tó bá lọ fún governor minister anything tó bá lọ fún whether president wọ́n sì wọn aráàlú ni tí má parọ́ ẹ bá mi já
Gbádùn yín ẹ̀gbọ́n mi.
ọmọ ṣe aráàlú ni but Nigeria sì wọ́n ti tọ̀nà upside down wọ́n ti fi religion wọ́n ti gbé mọ́nú politics nínú governance kò dẹ̀ ní ṣiṣẹ́ láéláé because ẹnìkan kan máa búra for 1960 kárí kí ni yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ ni tó ti àfẹ́tẹ̀ nìkan ok kárí mo wá bẹ́ẹ̀ sí mo débẹ̀ mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe kan báyìí ok bí lọ́sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ̀ kí n ṣe tó bí ọmọ mi kọ́kọ́ fún gbẹ́rẹ̀ gbà èmi kan fúnra mo náà sílẹ̀ gbé wọ́n gbà kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni nǹkan tó búra ń jọ yẹn nígbà tó fẹ́ di gọ́vnà àbí mínísítà tó náà máa ṣe kọ́ àbọ̀rọ̀ àlù tó bá débẹ̀ tí tó àti ṣe kọ́ máa ṣe é owó ló ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn o àbá mi ìgbà tó wá ní sẹ́ǹpù ṣe ẹlẹ́mi tó tún bọ̀ àti mo fẹ́ kó o jẹ sà.
Kò possible.
bàbá mi ní jẹ́rìí èmi ò ní pàfẹ́ mi o I'm a Christian before wọ́n ìdẹ̀lẹ̀ mi for now mo ti fi ogun ẹ̀ mo ti pé kí nìyẹn Bible Quran gbogbo kí nìyẹn scam ni scam ọkọ̀ àfi destroy àwọn àṣẹ́sọ̀ wa ni because èmi ní Quran lọ́wọ́ tẹ̀mí wáyé bí history book àwọn lárúbáwá ni mo ní Bible as a history book àwọn Israelite àwọn white people àwọn Jerusalem àwọn white people mo ní bí history book wọn wọn dárúkọ mi bẹ wọn dárúkọ Ọláyọmí Kíòkì wọn dárúkọ Ọláyọmí wọn dárúkọ Olúwaṣẹ́gun wọn dárúkọ oyè pé Babátúndé Ọlábíyì wọn dárúkọ kọ́mẹ́mẹ́. Odufa is our own history. You want to know more history about Yoruba? Go and read the Odufa. And then to okay, ọkọ pé Bismillah aláwọ̀ kò bàtọ́ ń pa ẹ̀yẹ. Aláwọ̀ kò ẹ̀rẹ̀ ń pè tẹ́fí ń pèrún. Òun lẹ́wọ́n ṣe olúwo ṣe o. Ìkọ́tẹ́ yìí pè tẹ́fí sí Ọlọ́run. Ọ̀kan pè wọ́n fi ń pààyàn. Wọ́n ti bọ̀ Muslim ṣẹ̀ṣọ̀ ọgbọ àgbáyé. Àwọn arábí kan dìde wípé no orúkọ yìí àfi ń gbé Ọlọ́run gàrí. Ẹ̀yẹ kọ́lé bá lókè fún àpàyàn. Ọ̀dẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ bí pé ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ support kìíní yẹn. Bọ́ọ̀lù ẹ̀sọ́ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀sìn ní Turkey. Èrò Saudi Arabia embassy. Wọ́n pa àwọn síbẹ̀. Wọ́n wá dis guy bí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ̀ ló bọ́ta padà. Kárí kò sí kámẹ́rà. Kárí pé ní òwò àtẹ̀tẹ̀lọ́jì ni.
Tó bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà ni ó ti lọ nìyẹn ó ti dẹran nìyẹn ẹran sófin.
Kárí Nàìjíríà ni sàárà ni ó ti lọ àbábí kárí Nàìjíríà ó ti lọ. Ẹ̀sọ́pọ̀ ti lọ sẹ́ẹ̀mù ni. Wọ́n tà sọ nìyẹn. It doesn't call religion. Ọlọ́wọ́ ò dá religion. Inú ìwé tó gbọ́ fún wa gan ẹgbẹ́ àkùrà tó gbọ́ fún wa onítìrálẹ́sẹ̀ tó gbọ́ fún wa táǹkà náà láti máa rọ́pù wọn. Wọ́n nígbà tó lọ́ọ́ dá ayé àtọ̀run ó dá àgùn kan tán ó wá dé èèyàn bàbá ọlọ́kọ́ ló dá wa o. Ọmọ iyẹ̀pẹ̀ ọmọ omi ọyẹ̀pẹ̀ ọmọ atẹ́gùn ni wa nígbà tó lọ́ọ́ dá wa gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ̀wé igi tẹ̀wé wọ́n ní ìrìn àjò lọ́ọ̀ jọ afárá lọ. Wọ́n ń bá lọ́hùn sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn èèyàn àlè bá lọ́hùn sọ̀rọ̀ láyéláyé nítorí pé ẹnu ò da ọlọ́kọ́ ló dá wa nínú nǹkan tó lọ́wọ́ dá iyẹ̀pẹ̀ ọlọ́run fi mọ àwọn èèyàn àtomi ó wá mú atẹ́gùn tó ń fẹ́ ó wá mímí ẹ̀ tó la fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́kọ́ ló dá bàbá tó kúrà ọlọ́run ò dá religion nígbà tó lọ dá ẹ̀dá àtẹ́fà kò fún ọ ní religion bẹ́ẹ̀ igi dẹ́ olówó fún ọ ní ìbẹ̀rù àti àṣà àti èdè ẹ̀jẹ̀ eléyìí ẹ̀mú eléyìí ẹ̀jẹ̀ eléyìí ẹ̀mẹ́jẹ̀lẹ̀ kẹ́ni kan bọ́ta nínú kúrò àtibẹ́rù níbo náà tó fún ilé kan bẹ̀ kọ́ sọ fún gbàgbọ́ náà dáyé religion yẹn dálẹ̀ pé láti slave wọn kan kọ́ sọ ọ́ dẹrú ni. ó la rí ìlà Áfíríkà ló gbèsè sódì ọ̀rọ̀ náà dẹrú báyìí ẹ̀wọ̀n European ẹ̀wọ̀n Saudi gbogbo wọn gbádùn àríkọ́lá dẹrú láfíríkà because it clear yẹn beyond ìkan tó ṣe pé kan wọn lẹ̀. kò yé wa èmi lè sọ pé àwọn tó ń ka Bible kò yé wọn àwọn tó ń ka Quran kò yé jẹ́ yóò yọ àbánu. Bẹ̀jàmí àdọ́là ó ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní ẹ̀rù yìí pọ̀ o àlà kí ló ń jẹ́ àlà ṣé ilẹ̀ yẹn gbọ́ àlà ni wọ́n ní Arab country ẹ̀ pọ̀kọ́ tí ilẹ̀ yẹn gbọ́ ìkọ́ mẹ́ta ló wà ẹ̀lú méje ní kìlú dà bọ́lẹ̀ dá because ìkọ́ tẹ̀ ìlú ìrọ́ ló bá dé. So ìkọ́ máa sọ pé ṣẹ́rí Yorùbá nation yìí lóòótọ́ máa dúró kó ṣe kọ́tà máa gbà kó ṣe kọ́tà pọ́nmọ́ sáyẹ́nsì kúrú Biafras wà lẹ́nu for almost 54 years lọ́tù wà mẹ́sẹ̀. That's 1967 to this date, almost 56. Tí máa ṣe mistake, almost 56 years. Lọ́sù wà lẹ́nu ẹ̀dí sí. Ọbẹ̀ lọ, àwọn ṣe bọ́tà. Ìgbó ṣe bọ́tà ní year 2020 nínú àwọn. Tí ìgbó ṣe mọ̀ ní 2020, ó ní October 4th ní bàbá náà France day ní Soka. It's up to 3 years. Ó jẹ́ pé 3 years ni. Yes, ó jẹ́ pé 3 years ni. Tàbẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ́gùn yìí, ẹ̀ ń kọ́jú pressure. Ìkọ́jú wà ìbílẹ̀ ìwọlé tó ara nìyẹn. Mr. Coach, ìkọ́ tí dúpọ̀ ní tìrì tó bí sáyẹn ìwọlé tí wọ́n láàrin nìyẹn. Ó ti pọ̀ tó wà pressure lórí kíní yẹn. Òun ló fà á. Sọ gbọ́ kíní a máa ṣe ìrùn túwọ̀ sí ni.
ẹni ẹgbẹ́ religion kẹgbẹ́ sẹ́gbẹ́ ọlọ́run fún wa ní religion àṣà ọlọ́run fún wa àwọn èèyàn dá aláàmù òkè láìjọ ẹ̀ sìn àwọn òyìnbó wọn technology ẹ lọ China fún ọ̀tá lóyè àwọn 13 years 14 years ló ń ṣe Nàìjíríà àwọn wọ́n dìbètè wọ́n dìbètè lórí Quran wọ́n dìbètè lórí Bible wọ́n dìbètè lórí technology pọ̀kẹ́ o mọ́tò tó tẹ̀ ṣe báwọn ló ṣe ń ṣe fóònù tó ṣe báwọn ló ṣe ń ṣe ordinary two big ẹ̀ lè ṣe Nàìjíríà tó tó sí ni religion lẹ́ ń ṣe religion ẹ bá lọ́wọ́ àfà àwọn olùbẹ̀ ṣe debate láti sọ wọ́n ní ẹ bọ́dà bọ̀ ṣe debate àwọn ọmọ àpò àgbẹ̀ debate rẹ̀ ṣe ẹ wọ́n technology àtẹ̀yẹ pásítọ̀ onímọ̀ technology wọ́n ní kí láti debate àfẹ́ mọ́sìkì mọ́ àfẹ́ church mọ́ a ní ilé iṣẹ́
ẹja ìfẹ́ lómi láyé ẹṣẹ́ gan ẹ̀gbọ́n mi torí àsìkò ni thank you so much ẹṣẹ́ gan ni
ẹjọ́ ṣe é ti tó
thank you so much ẹṣẹ́ gan ni.
ó ti wọ́n sì pé àwọn ará Kwara Fúlàní ló pọ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n ṣọmọ Yorùbá ó ti 100% dínkù bàbá ìsìnmáyé ló sì wà máàlì ẹwọ́n ní kó bá ń dà ní Yorùbá jọ 100 years to this time mo kọ́ lọ́sọ̀ àkì kò ní wọ́n dára tó Yorùbá nìṣó because he is not from Yorùbá he is from Ndidi Mali Senegal from Fulani man so bó yẹ jẹ́ nìyẹn Kwara yẹn bó yẹ jẹ́ nìyẹn sí bàbá mi rọ méjì.
mẹ́rìndínlógún ní local government ní Kwara a ṣì ní few more time fún ẹni tó bá fẹ́ bá wa dá sí one thing is our focus is the campaign and we must continue to enlighten and educate. It does not matter education or kintan, we will continue to educate as much as possible. Let's go straight to the next caller. We have about half an hour left into the program. Hello, caller.
Mr. Koiki, ẹ káàsán.
Ẹ káàsán náà.
Ẹ kú àtàárọ̀. Nǹkan tí èmi gbọ́dọ̀ sọ nípa religion ni pé ṣe rí ẹ̀sìn tó bá ti ń pọ̀ ọmọ nìkan ìpìlẹ̀ pé ó láti ṣe báyìí. Ìyẹn ò sí látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Ṣùgbọ́n torí pé Ọlọ́run dá wa tí wọ́n rò pé Ọlọ́run ò lè change gbogbo ayé ìtara tí wọ́n. Wọ́n fún wa ní free will láti ṣe nǹkan tá a bá fẹ́. Ó wá kù sórí kálukú lọ́wọ́ láti tẹ̀síbi tó bá wù. So you cannot force anybody any ẹ̀sìn tó bá ti force ọmọnìkejì by force you have to do this iṣẹ́ láti ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run because ìyẹn gan kò ní ládá lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run kò rán yín náà because ó fẹ́ ká fi ọkàn ló fẹ́ ká fi sìn kò fẹ́ ká fi jàgídíjà agbára káká sí òun lọ́rọ̀ Muslim Christian tábàdẹ̀ wo even nígbà tí Jésù gan wá sáyé kò force anybody go and preach ni ẹ tó bá létí púpọ̀ ẹ tó bá dẹ̀ gbọ́ fine oníkálukú á mú ẹtì ẹ so tàbá ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation everybody is free to worship anything tó bá fẹ́ we cannot force don't do this don't do what ẹtí lè lọ gbé mi wá oníkálukú á bá rẹ ní ìjọ kí ló máa ń pè ṣéjọ àlejòndà àtẹ̀ká ló mọ̀ eléyìí gan tọ́lọ́hún fẹ́ fọwọ́ sí àti tọ́lọ́hún fẹ́ fọwọ́ sí tó gba àwọn tó ń gbé agídí agbára káká yẹn nǹkan míì wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ fún wọn àkọ́kọ́ ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ ìjọ I don't want to go to ìjọ á mọ gbogbo nǹkan tó wà lẹ́yìn each one oníkálukú let your conscience be your God tó bá lead ẹ sí lọ́sìn tábàdé Yorùbá nation ẹ lọ ṣe nǹkan tó kù yín ẹ má fọ́ tẹ̀lé kankan kó wá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣe ẹ má fọ́ tẹ̀lé kankan kó wá ṣe ìmàlẹ́ ẹ má fọ́ tẹ̀lé kankan kó wá ṣe kìrìsìtẹ́nì tí Ọlọ́run bá ti mí sí ẹ lọ ṣe nǹkan tó kù ẹ irú secular state bẹ́ẹ̀ là ń lọ then I just want to appeal not even to appeal to talk to our people àsìkò tó ẹ pé àwọn èèyàn wá lísìsì Awólọ́wọ̀ ní ìgbà 1956 tó gbogbo ẹ̀yìn ní sí Nàìjíríà ọdún tí àwọn Yorùbá wọ́n fẹ́ tẹ̀sẹ̀ jẹ́ wọn ní ohun wa yẹn á láti jẹ́ kó wá ṣọ̀kan sí because ojú wa ti rí màbo adẹ̀tí bí kó bá kúrò ń bẹ̀ ní ọdún mẹ́jọ láti ẹgbà pé wọ́n fún ní líbátì láti lọ́dún mẹ́jọ ṣé kí ló fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ àtúpadà sọ́dọ̀ ọmọ Fúlàní àbí máa ń jèrè tí ò mọ right from wrong tí ò mọ what to do and what not to do ẹ wo bí Buhari ṣe ṣe ẹ wo inú ẹ wo ẹ torí ẹ bá pẹ́ tó bá wo nǹkan tí Buhari ṣe kò sí ní tó bá torí àwọn omi máa bọ́ ní ojú ẹ̀ ó ṣe fààyè gba oríṣiríṣi àwọn èèyàn láti kọ́ máa loot country yẹn ṣé ìyẹn la fẹ́ jókòó tì àwa dẹ̀ ní why I'm really mean angry because àwọn òbí tí wọ́n jìyà láti tọ́ wa ni wọ́n jẹ́ ìjà bàbá látàlátà ìjà láti tọ́ ọmọ ẹlòmíì kúrò ní school so gbogbo ó tán fún wa pé tá a bá jáde àwa náà dé ènìyàn ó ń dà lẹ́yìn we are all over the place just running and do glorious ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ so àwọn Yorùbá láti ránṣẹ́ náà tó wà Nàìjíríà tó ronú ni wọ́n máa gbọ́n àwa ní ká kóra wájọ ká mọ̀ bá ṣe máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣe àwẹ̀ alẹ́ tí àsìkò bá dẹ̀ tó then they will learn Maybe by easy, maybe by fire, by force. I don't want to say that. They will learn because more the Jawa Komaye. Do you understand me? More the Jawa Komaye. Go back to play also for any reason that 31st only me son. They cannot Jawa Komaye go to Jawa again. So they will have to listen. But before then, I share awareness. No one ever share awareness. Again, Kamako Johnson. You know, go and sing forever. That's all I know. And that they run. So you go mama rule forever. Oh, Nika. So, ṣé kó tún dáa padà tí sùkúl àti Tinubu bá tẹ̀sí dáadáa ṣé kó tún dáa padà sí lẹ́yìn ni? Ẹjọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú o ìyẹn lèmi fẹ́ ká máa ronú fún ọ.
Thank you so much. Mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ̀sí fẹ́ pè wọlé ẹ fún mi ní few minutes. Mo fẹ́ sáré sọ díẹ̀ nípa alàgbà tó wà lẹ́yìn mi Bishop ẹ fún wa ní few minutes regular lẹ́yìn mo ti rẹ́yìn tẹ̀sí fẹ́ pè náà. We'll have the line open a little bit longer as well. Mo kí mọ́mí wa ìyá mi Àbíbá mo kí ìwà pẹ̀lú ẹwà mo kí yèyé oge mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ lẹ́ǹkan mo kí gbogbo state kankan gbogbo local government gbogbo orí tó ń gbọ́ wa àti tí kò gbọ́ wa àti tára ní àti tára òní mo kí àjòjì kò gbọ́dọ̀ gba ilẹ̀ àjòjì kò gbọ́dọ̀ gba ilẹ̀ wa TV mo kí yín Voice of Yorùbá Radio TV mo kí yín African Parrot mo kí yín as well ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré ka bíbà but again n tí Gbajabiamila tó sọ lélẹ̀ àti discuss lè lórí ẹ fún mi ní 1 minute. Yeah, no, definitely we have to wind up. Hello? Hello? All right. I'm a wind down program in Missy Lightway. Ẹ má bínú a máa ní láti gbé tó ẹ̀ wá sílẹ̀ nísìnyí ẹ má bínú ìtẹ̀sí fẹ́ pé I can't bring anybody in again because of the other engagement I have to do now. I will come back and we will continue with the program. We gotta go now. Thank you so much. Torí àsìkò ni even though we started early but the program today was a little bit heat up. It's always like that sometimes but I gotta go now. I'm just going to play the anthem and then we'll close the broadcast.
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him.
Thank you so much, everyone. Màá padà wá nírọ̀lẹ́ later. I will complete the second part of this program. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin tí mo jẹ́ kẹ́ wọlé lórí call. I'll show you more of the call later on. Bye for now. I gotta go now. Thank you so much.